Happy Sunday, everyone. Again, this is Jared O11 Green, another installment of Southern Baller Show. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Of course, I have my co-hosts, Coast 67 Sports TV and JB. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and the mighty LDFC. So, starting with you, Coach, how you feeling today, bro?
I'm blessed and happy. All is well. Hopefully all is well with you and JB. And all is well with each and every individual in the chat. We appreciate y'all coming through, showing some love.
All right, JB, how you feeling, brother?
I'm blessed, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to bust another show out. I'm ready to chop it up with y'all boys, man. Let's get it.
All right. Picasso, thank you for showing. He said highly favored. That's good, man. Blessings. J Bar, thank you. Oh, here comes Mr. Shelton. He said Brock Purdy, damn it. Okay. Hey, Brock Purdy came up short though. But
Man, shout out to Brock Purdy, man. He had a good season, man. I can't even lie.
He had a very good season, man. Very good season. But we just gonna first of all, we're gonna chop it up about the Hall of Fame class of 2024. But we're gonna discuss the HBCU 2024 Hall of Fame class. If you watched the Legacy Bowl, which we were going to discuss today, we're going to discuss what went on during the game. Some certain players that we were impressed with, and certain individuals we were not impressed with. We're going to discuss, but we're going to start off talking about going over the HBCU 2024 Hall of Fame class. But it's going to be...
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. All right. So, on. All right, here we go. So, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Part of it. I could see Joe 747 Adams, quarterback, Tennessee State University. I can see that.
Oh no, let me big screen there. All right. Oh, of course, one of my brothers came in the building. LDBC business in the building. Brother Joe Town, what's going on, man?
Oh man, salute to the family. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Sunday?
Blessed and highly favored. How you doing, Big Joe?
Hey man, just marinating. You figured tell me it's got done getting out of a symphony. I'm jumping on with the fellas. There's no place I'd rather be. You dig?
Yes, sir.
And hey, that's some pretty classy stuff.
Hey, I'm trying to be a swashbuckling young man. You feel me? You know, trying to make it do what it do. You feel me?
I feel you. But that's class right there. You out of nowhere just jumping up and going to a symphony, man. Just to, not the same old,
Yeah, absolutely. Something different, yes, sir.
But, yeah, we see how y'all doing it in the year, Big Joe.
Hey, I'm just trying to exude black excellence wherever I go. You feel me? Obviously, there's about 3 or 4 black folks in the whole spot. I was the youngest one. Everybody looked at me like, "What the hell is you doing here?" You know what I mean?
How he know about this?
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, black folks go to this too." Oh no, that's how they looked at me.
That's hilarious.
But it's good changing different atmospheres, man. That's good. I'm all for that.
Hell yeah.
But Big Joe, we was gonna go over first before we go over the other topics like the 2024 NFL Hall of Fame class and the Legacy Bowl. Even we also will talk about Cam Newton, so-called being jumped.
Yeah.
which I wouldn't call it jump. We'll watch the video. But we're gonna discuss that. But for the 2024 Black College Football Hall of Fame, uh, a guy by the name of Joe 747 Adams, quarterback, Tennessee State.
Yes, sir.
Um, so he played 1977 through 1980. Okay, he ranked second at Tennessee State in career passing yards, 8,653 yards. Record as a starter, 25-7. Threw for 30 touchdowns in 1980 and 75 in his career. Selected by the San Francisco 49ers in the 12th round of the 1981 NFL Draft, played Canadian football for the Rough Riders and Toronto Argonauts and Ottawa Rough Riders. Now, y'all noticed that he ended up playing in Canadian Football League. So I'm gonna give y'all a history lesson. So y'all saw he was a quarterback, right? So most likely they made him try to change his positions. So, or you know what I mean? Um, of course they wasn't feeling black quarterbacks back then,
Yeah, like Warren Moon.
or like Warren Moon and cats like that. So, um, but people like Doug Williams and Warren Moon help break barriers. And I know there's other cats.
Yeah, like James
Older,
Harris.
James Harris, thank you. That I'm missing, but mainly those are the two that come to mind when it comes to breaking barriers of the black quarterback. So
And,
shout
and,
out to, go ahead.
and just kind of speak on Warren Moon for 1 minute now. Since you got Brady and Breeze, it's a different league than it was. But at that time, had you taken Warren Moon's CFL yardage, had he not had to play in the CFL, for the time frame he did, if you'd have added CFL yardage and his NFL yardage, at the time he'd have been an all-time leading passer in the NFL. And a lot of people don't even realize that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm doing some more history. He remained a practice squad member, so he didn't even really play in the actual game in the NFL.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So that's why he ended up going to CFL. But that does not negate the amazing mark he left on the Tennessee State University record books, and plus black college football is recognizing them. So shout out to 747 Adams. JB or Big Joe. Big Joe, you ever heard of this gentleman? Or you have any feedback?
No, I haven't heard. I heard of him when I was watching the All Star game. I heard they brought up his name, and then I did a little research on him. So hey, salute all the brothers who paved the way. So what I mean, brothers. So brothers like Dak Prescott and C.J. Stroud can go out there and ball out. So what I mean. Shout out to the brother.
Shout out. Shout out.
I agreed, man. Just like Town said, man, I'm getting with this show. I'm getting schooled, man. Y'all schooling me on the HBCUs and the players, and man, So shout out to this brother, man.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. And shout out to Cadillac Red, Supreme Beats Boxing Talk. Salute to the brothers.
Salute Cadillac.
LDBC is all about boxing, but one of the brothers that's holding it down is Cadillac Red. Bullshitting on the beltway and them talking about boxing and him and KG. So, and other brothers on the panel like 503. And I know I'm missing somebody.
You got
Stay ready, brother.
You
Stay
got
ready.
Stay Ready, you got Odd Fella, you got 503, you
Lion.
got KG, and you got Cadillac
503
Red.
Lion.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So
that's a 503, yeah.
all them brothers dope, and they know what they talking about when it comes to basically boxing. So y'all go over there and salute and support that brother, man. Salute the Cadillac Red, man, and thank you for all the support, brother. I appreciate you. Now, going down, we're going to Antoine Bethea. Now, this is somewhat of my generation, man. Antoine Bethea, defensive back, Howard University. Played with Howard University from 2002 to 2005. Earned a spot on the Urban Radio Network, broadcasting HBCU American team, All American team. Um, Earned first team All American honors by NFL Draft Report senior year at Howard. Man, that's amazing. Taken by the Indianapolis Colts in the sixth round of the 2006 NFL Draft. Man, they got a jewel. Played for the Indianapolis Colts, San Francisco 49ers, the Cardinals, New York Giants, played for a Super Bowl champion with the Indianapolis Colts. They got there most of it because of him in uh, playing safety. Uh, Inaugural Black College Football Player of the Year in 2017. Man, so anybody know about Antoine Bethea? He was a thumper. Um, we know we had Bob Sanders, you know what I mean? But Antoine Bethea also was a thumper. And he had very good cover skills. And he also multiple time Pro Bowler. So him just this type of talent being drafted in the sixth round, the Indianapolis Colts, which drafted him, definitely got a jewel or a hidden gem. Um, Starting with you, Coach, what do you think? What do you remember about Antoine Bethea?
Man, Antoine Bethea was a dog. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about the Colts at that time, uh, they were good at evaluating talent, especially when it came to the HBCU realm. For them to get Antoine Bethea and Robert Mathis, it's like hey, they were really doing their homework in terms of the HBCU realm. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. They was, man. They was. He was a beast coming out of Howard. Um, Brother Joe Town. What do you remember about Antoine Bethea?
Oh yeah, I remember Antoine Bethea. I remember him mainly when he was playing with the Niners. I've been to several 49er games since they've been over here at the Santa Clara Stadium, which is probably literally like 10 minutes from the crib. But yeah, Antoine Bethea, he was a thumper. He was a guy that filled the gap. What I mean? He was almost like the fourth linebacker in a way.
Yes,
What I mean? He
sir. He
had pretty
was.
good. What I mean? He had pretty good cover skills, but he was known for if somebody broke through the second line, he was gonna meet him right there. So shout out to the brother. He's the Super Bowl champion. He's played on a couple teams. But now most importantly, he's an HBCU Hall of Famer. So yeah, I remember him for sure. Thumper, great player, phenomenal player, and drafting somebody like that in the sixth round, he definitely exceeded all expectations. Most guys they get drafted that low, most of them they make it maybe a year or two, but he played for a long time and got a ring, So hey, shout out to the brother.
Yes, sir. And he's a prime example why the Southern Ballers show does exist in other HBCU content creators because of his we basically shedding light on the players who may not have uh, the shine coming from small HBCUs or even the big HBCUs. So a lot of the draft boards are not looking for these guys. So, but he was good enough to be drafted. But look what round he was drafted in, sixth. So, like Joseph Townsend said, a lot of times those guys end up on the practice squad or in 1 or 2 years or even less than that, cut. But because of his talent, he became one of the best Colts in the secondary that ever played. We got an Indianapolis Colts fan in the building. Yeah, he remembered Bethea. He says Jay Barr said Bethea was a beast. Go Colts. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Mr. Shelton said kind of like Ronnie Lott. Yeah, like a shorter Ronnie Lott. Yeah, I can take that. I can take that. Yeah, he was in a way. Um, Jay Barr. Excuse me, JB. What do you remember of Bethea, Antoine Bethea?
Like Coach said, straight dog, man. I remember playing with him on Madden when I used to play with the Colts. He's just one of those players. He could do it all. He can cover it. He can guard you in coverage, or he can put that stick to you if he need to. So he was a good player to have back there in the secondary. Um, and I'm happy that he was able to get this honor. So shout out to Antoine Bethea.
Shout out indeed, man. Much deserved, much deserved. Um, next gentleman, way before our time, but we still gonna talk about him. Another Tennessee State Tiger, Wayman Bryant, linebacker, 1970 to 1973. But born July 7th, 1952, in Dallas, Texas. Was a little All American 1972, 1973. Selected in the first round, fourth overall in the 1974 NFL draft by the Chicago Bears. And so basically, this is gentleman is a throwback. Uh, Played linebacker for the Chicago Bears. Um, and y'all notice in the first round, he was drafted in the first round. So can I ask? This is and not weighing from these players, but the question I want to ask: back in the day, did the NFL do a great job, a better job looking at HBCU talent? Because you got to look, um, Jerry Rice was selected, and uh, uh, Sweetness, you know what I mean, Walter Payton. All those players back in the day from HBCUs were drafted high. So you think a lot of them organizations were, had little, their recruits were often there on HBCU campus
No, not
compared to
They
really.
today?
had to.
No, not really.
The-
The reason I'm saying that, bro, is because you got to realize when you talk about Steve Aaron McNair, and Steve Aaron McNair, he kind of fits into the same slot as Jerry Rice and Walter Payton. Essentially, these guys were like otherworldly. And in terms of if you look at, for somebody to actually watch Steve Aaron McNair play in person, they still was really trying to deny him. They still really wanted him to play another position. The reason why he ended up going to Alcorn State over like maybe like Ole Miss or Mississippi State, some of those other type of SEC schools, was they all wanted to take him and move him to defensive back or another position. And essentially, what I'm saying is, if you look at Walter Payton and Jerry Rice and Steve Aaron McNair, they kind of all fit the same prototype, and they all were kind of otherworldly. Steve Aaron McNair, his senior year, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate. So you know, in regards to those guys, I would say no. It was the fact that they was just on such a whole nother level. But you got to realize, like every HBCU player, wasn't on the same level as a Walter Payton, a Jerry Rice, a Steve Aaron McNair, so on and so forth. And then in addition to that, one of my former coworkers, I was working at this school in central Louisiana, right? And he played for Coach Eddie Robinson like in the early 80s. His name is Carlos Pennywell if you want to Google him. So he played wide receiver for Grambling. And basically, he was telling me, he was like, Coach, he said, I'm gonna be truthful. He played for the New England Patriots. And, he was playing for the Patriots. And then eventually the NFL had the lockout. I don't know if y'all remember the lockout. I know as a Saints fan, the reason I remember the lockout like a little bit was because they had this quarterback named John Forcade that, he played for him during the lockout. And we thought like, hey, the Saints had been searching for a quarterback, for such a long time. He played well during the lockout. But, once we got the regular players back, Forcade he was average at best, right? And then, of course, they eventually pivoted to Steve Walsh. And, I don't know if y'all remember this rapper named Vanilla Ice. He had this song called Ice Ice Baby. So for local promo, they had this Steve Walsh Baby song. He won like his first couple of games and he ended up being trash. But the point I'm trying to make is he was, Coach Pennywell, he ended up getting kind of like blackballed and blacklisted because he was one of like the higher ups in terms of the NFL, PA or whatever. So he never really got to play in the league again. So the thing about it is, he told me, he was like, Coach, he said, essentially, like, if you come from a PWI Power Five, if you like a Heisman Trophy type candidate, if you like first team All American, consensus All American, you win whatever award, like Doak Walker Award or whatever, like those first couple round picks for like those type of players. I think he was saying, if I'm not mistaken, I would have to Google it again. I think he was drafted in like the third round. He was like, Coach, on that team, like he was saying, I realized this was the early 80s. Basically, he was saying like the best players on a team for the Patriots at the time came from like HBCUs. He was saying, so those players that were like all first team All American, so on and so forth, consensus All American, won this award, won that award. Essentially, those players were automatically slotted into those first couple rounds. And he was saying like he was one of the better players on the team, but he really didn't. He didn't get that kind of shine. Then after the lockout, his career pretty much was done. But at the end of the day, just based on the conversation I used to have with him at school, he was like, you had your exceptions like the Walter Payton and the Steve McNair and Jerry Rice, but he was saying like, they weren't really like the norm. And even with that being said, he was saying that they had other guys that, they weren't on the same level as those guys, but those guys should have been in the NFL and they really weren't given a shot. So this is just based on this guy that played in the NFL, that went to Graham, went to HBCU. This is I'm giving you his perspective on this particular topic that we're talking about.
What was you about to say, JB?
So Coach took it somewhere else, and I listened to him, and he made some very, very good points. What I was going to say was they had to, from the standpoint of, it wasn't that they did a better job, it's just because at one time all the talent was in the HBCUs.
Yeah.
They would rather had an all white team if they could, but players like Sweetness, players like you said, Jerry Rice,
Mel Blunt,
it was undeniable. Now like Coach did say, I agree 100%. You had a lot of players like Steve Eric McNair who balled and got a chance, but there's a lot of players in HBCUs that didn't get a chance. But now, and that's after where predominantly white schools will allow some of the best players in the nation to come to their schools. But my perspective is there was a time where all the best talent was in HBCUs.
You're right.
Yeah, you definitely right, JB. But my counterpoint to some of what you were saying is, you was right from the standpoint. A lot of these players, if we talk about Mel Blunt, he probably played he played in a pre-integration time frame. So you're right. Like the best blue chip black athletes, they didn't have an opportunity to go to the PWI. However, some of these players, they played post-integration, like a player like Jerry Rice, but yet a player like Jerry Rice still slipped through the crack and he still ended up being
Walter Payton, one of them too.
Yeah. So, but we talking about the players that did make it. For those individuals that watch the movie Any Given Sunday, like Lawrence Taylor said in a movie to Willie Beamer, he was like, for every Barry Sanders, for every Jerry Rice, for every like superstar, like Hall of Fame caliber player, he was like, there's 20 guys that have the requisite talent that you never even heard of. Because I don't know if y'all saw Chad Ochocinco, he was talking about his experience in the CFL. He was saying that he went to the CFL and he thought, oh man, it's gonna be a piece of cake, it's gonna be easy money. And he was like, he got up there and he said, those guys could ball.
Yeah.
He said the thing about it was, he just underestimated the CFL. And he said a lot of those guys had NFL talent. He said the issue was the fact that you only have a finite amount of spots in the NFL. So a lot of these guys really had NFL talent. But since you only have so many roster spots in the NFL, a lot of those guys had to go to the CFL. So, that's another component that we really didn't factor in. Like some of these guys that play in the HBCU realm, that's the one good thing about having the UFL, we talked about last week. But some of those guys probably have NFL talent. But since you only have a limited amount of roster spots and you playing in the HBCU, you're going to get overlooked. And then you're going to have to end up going to a place like the UFL or the CFL or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Spot on. Spot on. Joe Town, anything you want to add on to that question?
I mean, y'all hit the nail on the head. Y'all hit it on all points. You know what I mean? JB and Coach. The only thing else I would say, yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot of it. Well, the question was, did they do a better job back then? That was like the original question, and
Yes, sir.
obviously, during that time, most of the talent was at the HBCUs. My dad told me a story where my dad's from Texas, so he went to Texas football games when they were all white. What I mean, and there was a all white players and there was a black section and a white section. This is pre-integration. And he told me a story that UCLA came to town and they had some black players on their team, and then they dog walked Texas, and then next year Texas had black players on their team. So so yeah, a lot of the talent used to be at the HBCUs. So that's where they had the pool to pick from. But now, a lot of HBCU players get overlooked, whether if they were a 1 star in high school or whether if they had bad grades and they had the gray shirt and then they only could go to HBCU. There's a lot of reasons why that is, and they always say if you're good, they'll find you, but there is so many roster spots now. They're trying to open up more practice squad slots. I think it used to be 8, now it's like 10 or 12 now. So
Yeah.
you got that, and so now we got also the UFL is cracking. Now we got Canadian football. So some of these guys, they might not make it to the NFL, but they can still get a paycheck playing football. So, um, you know, um, like I said, like the guys like the Jerry Rice and whatnot, the standout guys, they will get, they will get an opportunity. But if you have a Jerry Rice on your team, everybody else will get a look because Jerry Rice is on your team, and but we also got to remember too, there's a racial element involved to where, back in them times, they were only going to pick so many black folks on the team, to where now the NFL is 85% black, to where now Christian McCaffrey, and Mike Allstott is like the only two white running back we can even can say we're good. What I mean?
Right.
So, um, yeah, back in the day, they didn't do a good job at it. That's all they had to do. And now, you know, the spotlights are back on the HBCUs, and they're getting TV time and All Star games. So HBCU combine. So hopefully, some of these guys can, can do their thing. I forgot one team had a brother from I forgot what team it was, some team in the NFL. They had a brother from HBCU. He was balling. I don't know if it was the Niners or from somebody, but you see, every now and again you'll see somebody out there balling from HBCU and representing. So some of those guys can ball, but due to life and circumstances, they had to go there. But but now, hopefully we'll see more of the Jackson States and the Florida A&Ms and more of the Howards, in the NFL. So
Yeah, and let me
Right.
just kind of piggyback off of what Big Joe was saying. He brought up an excellent point that his dad made. I had this professor at Southern. He went on the glory. He passed on some years back, and basically he told like a similar story. Like basically, Bear Bryant. I think he played. It was a similar story where they played against a USC or like a West Coast team, and basically he told him like, "Hey, it take one to catch one," you know, and what he was referring to. And basically,
Yeah.
that's the same way he was able to get black players to Alabama like the next year. So, you know, he told a similar story. The only difference between my story that the professor told us and the story that Big Joe's dad told him was the fact that it was just different teams, but it was basically the same thing. Like, hey, we need some of these black players, and so on and so forth.
Facts. Facts. Okay. Okay. Um. Salute to 503 line. He said, "Salute family. Salute brother. Thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate you, man." Uh. Living Big with Big Reg, my brother. What's good, everybody? I was on his show. I think it was Friday. Um, Good conversation. We talking, having Baltimore Raven talk. Good brother, man, and of course he talks about more than just the Baltimore Ravens or football. He talks about life and stuff. Him and Brandon Bazell, aka 86 Goats. So y'all go support that brother, man. I'll say I feel some Texas tension on the panel. Nah, man, I was just all love, mostly all love here, brother.
Yeah, tell him, bro. Y'all integrate state of Texas, So hey,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Um, but moving on to these brothers, man. Talking about these great HBCU players. Kevin Dent, defensive back, Jackson State University. Played from 1985 to 1988. He's the only Jackson State player to be named 3 times All-American. 21 career interceptions. Okay, ball hawk. 2 times SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. Inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame in 2006. So this dude was so good. He's in the regular College Football Hall of Fame.
I mean, that's high praise to say that he the only Jackson State player to do some of the things he did to be a 3-time All-American. Jackson State, of course, they're a rival school in the SWAC, but like I said, when we're not competing against each other, it's all love, it's all family in the HBCU realm. But the thing about it is, like Jackson State got some dogs over. And just think about it. Walter Payton played at Jackson State, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, bro, that's high praise right there.
It's very high praise. And then you think this how good, this how loaded the HBCU or Black College Football Hall of Fame is. It took him to this right now to add him to the the Black Football College Football Hall of Fame, but it's because there were so many other dope players. He had to wait a couple more than a couple years. So I mean, ballers, man, baller. Um, and then just to be already in 2006 inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame in 2006. That's a big honor, man. That's a big honor. Moving on. Richard Huntley, running back from Winston-Salem University from 1992 to 1995. Rushed for over 1,000 yards in each of his 4 seasons for the Rams. Ended his college career ranked second all-time in NCAA history with 6,286 yards rushing. Was the CIAA's career scoring leader with 372 points on 62 touchdowns. Drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, 117th pick in the 2006 NFL Draft. Coach, what do you think about this running back from back in the day?
Bro, for you to rush for 1,000 yards in each of your 4 years, because you got to realize, I was big in the Southern and SWAC football in the 90s, and for him to be playing kind of in the same time frame as someone like Lindsey Scott, when he rushed for over 1,000 yards, in like 93, it was like a big thing. And for Melvin Williams Jr. to rush for like 1,000 yards in like 94 and 95, those were big too. But that's 3 years between two players. He rushed for 1,000 yards every year he played. So that's high praise, bro. Even if you look at my top 5 running backs at Southern University, it was a big thing for Steve Warford to have like back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, just like Melvin Williams Jr. But people don't realize when Steve Warford came from Cal that first year, he only rushed for like 680 yards his sophomore year, and he had a dog offensive line in front of him. So for this for this player to rush for 1,000 yards, each year he was there, bro, he had to be a beast, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he definitely was, man. Um, just looking at his stats, man, in the league, I think he was more of a backup. But he definitely did contribute. He knew how to tote that rock. Um, but Big Joe, what do you think about this player?
Yeah, I mean to rush for 1,000 yards, we said like 3 or 4 years. Just to do that in college football, period. No matter what league you're in, that's phenomenal. That means you got talent. You know what I mean? So his athletic ability definitely is there, which is why he got drafted into the NFL. How long was he in the NFL for? Does it say?
He played 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Okay,
Played,
good. Good. He at least got a pension. That's good. Hey, to play 6 years in the NFL, whether if you're a backup or not, hey, that still means you one of them dogs up there. You know what I mean? So again, shout out to the brother. Again, he got his NFL pension. They got the 3 years you get the pension. So hey, shout out to him.
yeah,
Yeah,
he played from 1996 to 2002. He played for Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Carolina, and Detroit.
yeah, and that's an interesting thing Big Joe brought up because that's one point of contention they had during the whole Damar Hamlin situation was the fact that I think the NFL had extended the years you needed to get your NFL pension because I remember and I was telling you about Coach Pennywell earlier, he kind of got blackballed after like the lockout, but the thing about it was he got his pension, whereas now I don't know if they don't want to give the pension out to the players, but for them to extend the years that you need in the NFL to get the pension, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, man. The next gentleman that we're about to talk about might be in the Hall of Fame in a couple of years, and the next gentleman is Lamar Parrish. So Lamar Parrish was a defensive back, Lincoln University of Missouri, 1966 through 1969, set Lincoln University record for most punt return yards in a single game. Selected by Cincinnati Bengals in the seventh round of the 1980 NFL Draft. Also played for the Washington Redskins and the Buffalo Bills. Ended his 13-year career with 47 interceptions and 13 fumble recoveries. He was a three-time first-team All-Pro, two-time second-team All-Pro, and eight-time Pro Bowl selection. And he returned 131 punts for 1,205 yards, 61 kickouts for 1,504 yards, and scored a combined of 13 touchdowns on special teams. So, of course, none of us probably heard of him, but because it was way before our time. But this dude was a baller, man. And with his stats, man, he's probably gonna end up in a couple of years, man. Probably be in the line of getting, in talks of being Hall of Famer. What you think about this old school player, man?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, it sounded like he was just a super dog. You know what I'm saying? To put up those type of numbers, you gotta be doing your thing. You know what I'm saying?
He was balling. Hey, Jared, scroll up a little bit, man, real quick. Jared, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Scroll up a little bit. Make sure I think you missed somebody, or maybe that's my eyes.
No, that's your eyes.
It
So,
said somebody was drafted in 2006.
Antoine Bethea, we already
Yeah, we
discussed.
talked about Antoine Bethea.
Oh, yeah. Okay, my bad. Yeah, but the
All right.
parent, man, Lamar Parrish, man, balling. Them stats is incredible.
For real.
Special teamer. He was a special teamer. and then he got back on defense and made plays. So, especially here in Baltimore, John Harbaugh would love a player like that because he loves special team dudes and people who can go on defense and ball.
Yes, sir, man. He was definitely a beast. Sounded like he was the original Devin Hester to me.
That's what it
Um,
sounds like, bro. And the thing about it is, somebody like a Bill Parcells. The reason he was high on David Meggett because David Meggett could play like running back, wide receiver. But somebody like Devin Hester, like since they gave him the bag, they had to kind of put him at wide receiver and try to feature him. But outside of special teams, like Devin Hester couldn't put an imprint. Whether it was at defensive back, at wide receiver, running back, no other real position. Whereas, Parrish, he seemed like he, had an imprint, defensively and as a special teamer, which kind of says a lot.
yes, man. Special teams is not easy, bro, at all. Um, Salute to brother Trill Will, LDBC or nothing. Bomb
Salute.
ass show, man. We over here standing on business, as my brother Trill
Yeah.
Will would say. Salute to the brother, man.
Yeah.
Please, y'all,
Salute to
especially
Trill
if you
Will.
LDBC, if you're not subscribed to his channel, you tripping.
Yeah, salute to Trill Will, salute to 86 Ghosts,
Yes, sir. Brandon Brazell said, "What's up?" AKA 86 Ghosts. What's up, man? If you want to hop on the show, let me know, brother. Mr. Chester said, "Y'all remember Mel Gray?"
Well, is a New Orleans Saints fan. I definitely remember Mel Gray. I was a huge Mel Gray fan. Mel Gray, he was another one of these predecessors to Devin Hester. Mel Gray was a dog as a Saint.
Yeah, Mel. You're looking at his stats. Mel Gray was another beast, returner, and he did everything. Wide receiver, running back. Yeah, so he
Yeah,
was
I ain't gonna lie. Mel Gray was kind of like in the same vein as like a David Meggett, like I talked about, who played for Bill Parcells and the Giants when they won the Super Bowl. Man, when the Saints let Mel Gray back out, when they let Mel Gray go, when the Saints let Mel Gray go, bro, I was so hurt, bro. I'm like, man, how you let Mel Gray get away? And Mel Gray went to other teams, and wherever he went, he just was a dog.
Yeah, he was, man. And of course, before my time, but just looking at his stats, man, he definitely was, bro.
Yeah, bro, he was a beast for the Saints, bro.
But and yeah, this is the last dude, or gentleman, Edward Hurt, head coach from Morgan State University. From this is way before our time, even our parents' time, 1929 to 1959. Compiled a record of 173 wins, 67 losses, won 14 CIAA championships, won 6 Black College National Championships, went undefeated from 1932 to 1939. Dang. So 7 years nobody could beat his squad.
Yeah, bro, I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like some A.W. Mumford, Coach Eddie Robertson type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that stuff of legends right there, bro.
Yeah.
Man, that's impressive.
We want to talk about black excellence. This brother is epitome of, in my opinion, of black excellence. All these brothers. So shout out to Ill Will for having that show last week about black excellence. And this is an
And he did this in the 1930s, bro.
Yeah, 1930s, 40s, and 50s.
I would like to pick his brain, man, and tell him like what was it like back in the day,
That would be
dealing with
cool, right?
racism, and what I'm saying, having no excuses, just being successful.
Wow.
and I mean not only that, bro, but like you were saying, this was, pre integration. So just imagine the type of talent he had on those teams, bro. Man,
That jump was
Talent.
jumping like a high school football game in Texas. I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna lie, probably in those days, it'll probably beat the average team now because you got to realize, just think about how many dogs you had on that one team because they couldn't play at PWIs. You're not just talking on college level, we talking on a high school level too, though. You know what I'm saying?
That coach, they had all the Ray Lewises, they had all the Ed Reeds, they had all the Joe Horns. They had all the Will Smiths, defensive end. They had all the talent, bro. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and this kind of substantiates like Ice Cube's point about the Pistol Pete Maverick record. He was like, man, that's pre-integration. He was like, we talking about having an asterisk by, somebody like Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa or whoever. He said Pete Maverick should have a asterisk too,
For real, man. Big Joe, what did you think about this brother from way back in the day dominating, man?
Oh man, that's what we call a triple OG right there. Like you say, those during those times, that's pre-integration. That was during the times of like Black Wall Street and whatnot. So, that was when black folks was thriving. Folks coming out of um being a prisoner of war, and then thriving and coming out on top. The fact that he was undefeated for like 7 years, something like that. Was
Yeah.
it 7? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yep.
that I know folks who can't even go undefeated in their Pee Wee league. You know what I mean?
I'm
So
telling you.
in fact, that you on a college level and you want to feed it that long, that's how you know that shows you the kind of man and leader that he was.
yeah,
You know what I mean? He's definitely when you put him up with coaches, like a guy like that makes the Bill Belichick's of the world look like shrimps. You know what I mean? So that's the definition of a man's man. You know what I mean? I won't say the alpha male term. That's some new shit. But back in the day,
yeah. That's the buzzword that they use all the time,
you
bro. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Back in the day, what I mean? He's a man's man. So, you know what I mean? So, shout out to that brother right there. Hey, triple OG guys like that. You know what I mean? There's a reason why. Like I say, there's a reason why brothers are coaching the league right now. You know what I mean? So, hey, shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely shout out to him, man. And I'm trying to find a picture. I seen a picture of him with his players, man, and I thought that was cool. I'm trying to find it if I can. If not, it's all cool. It's all good. But yeah, man, that's that. I didn't even. I'm humbled. I didn't even know that, man. I didn't even know that, man. That's very not. That's very interesting, man. And Picasso said, South Cliff is my high school. We'll be going to state all the time. Yeah, if y'all keep that coach, y'all will. Shout out to South Cliff, man. Uh, we're going to just go ahead and go into the legacy game, man. So I'm gonna play it for you with my video. So those who didn't watch the game, man, Team Gaither, which is represents an old school coach back in them days of Edward Hurt. They named the team after one team after, and then Team Robinson, which if you don't know, you tripping. Which represent Team Eddie Robinson. So basically, Team Gaither won just by 10. And Team Robinson, in my opinion, if they would have just went had a quarterback that could basically throw it over the top, they would have won. But the quarterback play, I'm keep it all the way funky with y'all, was not good in my opinion. Um, but JB did make a point when we was watching it. That I don't think they had long to mesh. Um, because they played like it. But I did enjoy watching the game. Um, especially if you was a defense, if you ever played on the defensive line, you will enjoy this game and admire how these on both teams went after each other. Um, Coach, your opinion on the game?
Of course, this the second year in a row. I kind of watched the game intently. I kind of made some of the same observations that you made. This game to me is kind of similar to the game from last year. The quarterback play left a lot to be desired, and to me, it seems as if just like last year and this year, the defense just kind of got after the offense, and like just to kind of maybe it just kind of solidifies the point you made about chemistry. A lot of time from an offense standpoint, you have to be able to gel together and have chemistry and continuity. It's not like when you get out here and you see these 7-on-7 teams. If you have like glorified 7-on-7 all-star team, you could just gel together real quickly right away. It's different. When you actually playing 11-on-11 and you playing in the all-star game. To me, it just kind of seems as if a couple years, I watched this game intently. The defense kind of got the better of it, at least in my estimation. And like you said, the quarterback play kind of left a lot to be desired. Of course, from a Southern University fan standpoint, it's good to see, some Southern University players and even a couple Southern University players I'm not used to seeing often. So, seeing so many defensive backs from Southern in that particular game yesterday, I kind of see why Coach Graves had to restock the shelves and get so many defensive backs in his recruiting class because, like he said in a paper, basically, a lot of defensive backs that they were counting on to come back this year, they had already exhausted all the eligibility. So that's why they were so short on defensive backs, and that's why they got so many defensive backs in this recruiting class. But it was a good, decent game. Hopefully, as they continue to play it, hopefully the quarterback play can improve, and hopefully we can get a more exciting game moving forward.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Just the quarterback play was just off. But let me tell you something. Um, Jablowski Green from South Carolina State and uh, uh, Zarian Hayes from Alabama A&M, which is, as you can see, they were my plays of the game, in my opinion. And of course, um, uh, Darius Richard, which after he scored the touchdown, he was carted off the field, man, because I think he had a lower leg injury or something like that. So I hope that brother is all right. We definitely don't want his futures of whether it's the NFL, CFL, UFL. I pray those chances are not hindered because of that. But
And I don't mean to cut y'all, bro.
go
One
ahead.
thing I want to point out, for these individuals, they're saying, hey, Davis Richards, he a glorified running back. Man, you have to watch him, not just in his All-Star game, but you have to watch him the course of the season to kind of get a accurate evaluation or assessment of what he is as a quarterback. For the people that are just saying he's just a glorified running back, I disagree.
I definitely just disagree. He can sling that rock, in my opinion. But do y'all agree with these players of the game? Especially Zarian Hayes. He was number 15. He basically was all over the field. He when the running back tried to run through the hole, he was there. When they were trying to run it outside, he was there. I saw him run and running back down when they was trying to do a counter, and he ran the running back down from the backside. So he knew them NFL scouts was there. Your coach, your New Orleans Saints was there scouting. So he said he trying to be a Saint or something because
Yeah,
he was all over the field, man. Him and Jablowski Green.
yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I agree with the players that ended up being player of the game. That's first and foremost. And just kind of, overall, I was kind of torn yesterday because, you know, people don't realize I was supposed to go to that game yesterday. And then I was also supposed to go to Southern University versus Grambling basketball game at Belgian Clark Activity Center. So I was kind of torn. And then, of course, the show, Bayou Sports Talk, it went long yesterday. So I ended up not going anywhere after the show. I just ended up watching the game, then eventually going to get a haircut. But more than anything, like, yeah, bro, I mean, I agree with those players being the player of the game.
Big Joe, I know you watched the game, brother. What was your thoughts, and do you agree with the players of the game I picked? And if you disagree, um, let us know what player impressed you the most. Big Joe, you hear me?
All right, here you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Oh,
you now, brother.
okay, my bad. Yeah, man. Somebody called me and whatnot. My bad.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah, no, I definitely watched the game. I tuned in around the second quarter, and whatnot. This game ain't no different than any other All Star games. Most All Star games are not that high scoring. Not that high scoring. Even the one that the main college one that they have. I forgot what it's called.
The Senior
The one
Bowl.
that they Yeah, Senior Bowl. Yeah, yeah. Even that one's not even high scoring. Not even the East West Shrine game not that high scoring. So this is pretty much what I expected. And shout out to all the five techniques. I saw some bull rushes. I saw some dips. I saw some swipes. I saw some reps. I'm like, okay, shout out to all them players out there getting some good coaching. You know what I mean in college.
I
My
swear,
first.
I was thinking, Joe, you loving this, man. You being informed as
Oh
hell.
man. Oh man, my first college coach, his technique was trash, big trash. You know what I mean? So, then my second year, yeah, my D line coach, my second year is actually Clint Hurt, he's the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. So shout out to Coach Hurt.
Shout
Um,
out.
but yeah, man, yeah, shout out to all the yeah. And number 15, yeah, he was balling. Yeah, he was balling. He got a couple sacks and he was very active. He was violent with his hands. He definitely showed out for the scouts for sure. So shout out to him. Um, and also, I was talking to Jared about this. I hear a lot about Southern football. You know what I mean? I hear a lot
Oh,
about
oh,
Southern and the great state of the great University of Southern and everything. But I saw a Southern DB just drop an interception, hit that nigga dead in his chest, and he
He
dropped the
did. He
ball.
did. He did. He
So
did.
I don't know what y'all coach at Southern, but it ain't catching the football. You dig what I'm
Hold
saying?
up, bro. Hold
So
up, Big Joe.
no, 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 no. Hold on,
Hold up, Big
brother. Hold
Joe.
on,
You got to
brother.
back it
No,
up.
brother.
He's not even a starter, Joe. Whether you know that or not.
Hey, well, start or not, he from your university. Nigga dropped the ball. Anyways, so he still got hands like he got elbows for hands. You dig what I'm saying? But hey, shout out to him being in the All Star game. To be in the All Star game is a privilege. So shout out to that brother. But hey, the scouts today, you dropped the pick. Hey, I'm just saying. Anyways, no, I like the All Star game. It was dope. They had all the Hall of Fame legends. They did at halftime. Shout out to the JSU band, the Sonic Boom. They did their thing. And I did notice. Now, ain't nobody brought this up. I seen some. It wasn't just all black folks out there. I seen a sprinkle of white folks here and there. Saw a white tight end, white quarterback. Saw some Mexican kickers. Hey, hey, I'm the. Shout out to the little sprinklets around there. You dig what I'm saying? But
Big Joe, you sound like my mama, man.
hey, I'm just saying this HBCU and I see a white tight end. I see young Jeremy Shockey out there. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no. Shout out to all the players out there, man. Um, I wish there was more folks, that was in attendance and everything. But it was a great game. The quarterback play definitely was lackluster. I don't know who that dude was who was from Florida. From Florida A&T. He didn't do nothing. I don't wasn't it Musa, whatever his
Yeah,
name is. Yeah,
Jeremy
he
Musa.
Yeah, yeah, he.
He was the SWAC player of the year, bro. Well, SWAC
Yeah, that's what I'm
offensive
saying.
player of the year.
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
ain't see
yeah.
it. I ain't see it yesterday.
No,
But
you
Me
you,
you
neither.
you
know,
right though, bro. You right. You right.
I ain't see it yesterday. But yeah, I'll watch. I'm like, wait a minute, they win a national championship, and then and he go out there and he looked like he shouldn't even be there. But I mean, that just goes to show you, when you're going through these evaluation processes, whether it's an all-star game, whether if it's Senior Bowl or combine or whatnot, you ain't got your players no more. Now we're gonna see who you really are, what you can do. And sometimes a lot of players they fall short. I mean, you can be SEC Defensive Player of the Year, like my man, who got drafted to the Rams, who with Mizzou. What was his name? Uh, the dude that was gay. What was his name
Michael
again?
Sam.
Yeah, Michael Sam. You can be SC Defensive Player of the Year, and then you next thing you know, you get drafted in the sixth round and you get cut. So when it's time to show up, you got to show up. The scouts is watching. They don't, they'll watch the game tape, but when you in their face, they won't see what you're gonna do. So, but shout out to all the players out there. Hopefully they have fun, and hopefully they got some good gifts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. Zarian Hayes was player of the game. He got a reward, man. And also, the 2024 All-State Legacy Bowl is not just about the game. It also was a job fair. So I think they said some the number was in the teens, high teens. A lot of HBCU students are now have been employed. Was it the NFL, JB? I can't remember. They were employed.
The point is they got a job,
They got a
and
job,
and I'm
basically.
happy.
They got jobs, so the Legacy Bowl was able to provide get a couple of brother sisters jobs. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool, man. So it was like a
And
little
that's
job
what's
fair
up,
as well.
man.
I can't remember what it was. They got jobs with the NFL or the Legacy Bowl staff or something like that. But it was cool. It was
I even
cool.
saw they even had like a HBCU Madden challenge, for the men and
Yeah, I
women. You
saw
know what I
that
mean? So
too. Yeah.
that was dope. It was put on by Ocho Cinco and somebody else. So hey, shout out to them.
Shout out to them, man.
And shout out to the NFL for showing their presence as well, and
Yeah.
all the NFL players that came and showing the HBCU players some love, man. I really appreciate that, seeing that.
Yeah, I did too, man. That was cool. That was cool as hell, man. But um, yeah, that was a game, man. It was a defensive game, man. It wasn't really nothing. Um, it wasn't high scoring like Joe Town said, the defensive battle, but there was definitely some good bright spots, even though the quarterback play was trash. But there was some. If you were recruited for the NFL, your eyes need to be on that defensive line because there's definitely some ballers that can play, and some in the secondary too. But moving on. We gotta get before we go to the main topic. We gotta get this out the way. Me and Coach and JB, we was talking about it before the show. Um, so those who didn't know, a video surfaces all over social media of uh, Cam Newton is at his event that he throws for the youth football players, and a group of little dudes are trying to jump on him, man. And he had one dude, but I couldn't tell by the collar of his hoodie or his hair, and he was slinging him around, and he was fighting off the rest of them. So long story short, these dudes was trying to jump Cam Newton. One tried to throw a punch, but that raggedy miss ain't connect. But it's I ain't gonna lie, I found that disheartening, man. Like you trying to do something, and backing up. I don't know what started it. Of course, more news will come out, um, and other content creators would catch wind of it. But I don't know how it started. I don't know who said what, but it was embarrassing, man. Like, especially for them those young dudes to act like that in that setting, man. That's an opportunity for you to be out there and be seen, man, and maybe colleges look at you, see how athletic you are. Um, if it was one of them 7-on-7s, man, whatever the case may be, but you out there trying to squabble with uh full grown man, not just full grown man, genetic freak, Cam Newton. Coach, you know I'm going to you, and then JB, you last. I gotta hear Big Joe's and Coach's take on this. Coach, I know we talked about it, but I want you to cook some more. What was your opinion on this embarrassing mess?
Bro, as someone that's a teacher, I teach middle school. I'm also a coach. I've coached football and basketball. Watching that, I'm not gonna lie, bro, it's utterly disgusting. I was kind of disheartened by watching that footage because, in our day, first of all, we had respect for our elders. That's first and foremost, and that was above all, And I think back to my middle school coach, and I tell the students in my class all the time, I'm like, some of the stuff y'all say in front of me, some of the stuff y'all do, some of the stuff y'all tell me, I'm like, bro, when we were in school, had I told my middle school coach that he was so revered, he was a legend, his name was Mr. Johnson. He passed some years ago. I'm like, well, first and foremost, he was so revered that in some instances, not only did Mr. Johnson teach you, he may have taught your parents, probably taught your parents. And then in addition to that, he was probably friends with your grandparents. And, people always talk about old man strength. For Mr. Johnson, considering, by the time I played for him and, played football for him in middle school, like, he had, some heart issues and so on and so forth. But he was like strong, bro. And I'm like, some of the stuff, if I was able to take y'all present day players and students and put y'all in Mr. Johnson era, first of all, he'd put hands on you. Ain't no two ways about it. Not even sugarcoating it. And then you can't tell another teacher, you can't tell the administrator, you can't tell a parent, because all of them would have been on his side because they'd know if he'd have put hands on you, first of all, Mr. Johnson was in the right. And second of all, he was so revered, like, who you gonna tell? I mean, you could even went to the school board office and say, guess what? I'm gonna tell someone in the school board office. Man, they were gonna back him before they back you. Especially if you were known for being a knucklehead. He's not gonna put his hands on, like, a student that's a model student. So it kind of will speak to your lack of character. And just watching him try to jump him, like you and I talked about this behind the scenes too, bro. If you watch Cam Newton in his prime playing in the NFL, bro, he was a freak of nature. You watch him drag defensive linemen, defensive tackles, defensive ends, linebackers. Like, for you to think, even y'all jumping him, that, just think about it. If he just would have really got upset and said, you know what, I'm gonna fire back off on every individual trying to jump me. Bro, y'all would have been in trouble. So that's the key word, keywords, or key phrase to this. The key phrase is they tried to jump him. They unsuccessfully jumped him. And, if he just would have got upset and he just would, like, I don't know if y'all remember this footage of, Tyson beating up this random guy on the airplane years ago for harassing him. If Cam would have just decided, hey, I'm going to just start
that.
swinging on these young men, it would have been a scene similar to that. So, I'm glad that he didn't turn up and really do what he was capable of doing. But more than anything, I was disgusted by the entire situation. And it just don't make sense. As a teacher, it makes sense to me because, like I said, we just living in a crazy world and a crazy society. These young people, they rude, they irreverent, they disrespectful. They don't have no respect for their elders. They don't have respect for authority. But, I need more context of, what transpired, why it transpired. But no matter what transpired, I don't see no justification for them jumping him, and he probably invited you to this event or whatever the case may be. And just watching the whole scene, bro, it was just utterly disgusting in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely was, man. Big Joe, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what the setting was. Like I said, I saw the video as well and saw all angles. It looked like he was like either speaking or something like that. But probably speaking to the youth or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean I don't know who they thought Cam was. Cam Newton is on record by saying, "Man, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia." Big, you know what I mean? So you forget all the funky hair and whatnot. Cam from the hood. Cam ain't no hoe. You know what I mean? So forget all the weird dressing and whatever. Run up on Cam if you want to, and y'all saw what happened. Ain't nothing happened. You know what I mean? So Cam 6'4", all 250, all muscle. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we live in a day and time now where a lot of the youngsters show disrespect to the elders. I mean, I've met a lot of rude players and a lot of a-holes. One of them specifically is Barry Bonds, but I never swung on Barry Bonds. It is what it is. But the fact that
Right.
if you're a player and you're trying to get to the NFL and you swing on somebody like a Cam Newton, but it makes no sense. You know what I mean? You never in and Cam. It's not the first time Cam had this issues with the youth. These kids are like, remember when those kids were at the Cam 7-on-7 camp, and then they were talking greasy to him. I'm like, nigga, you were at my camp wearing my gear. You talking greasy to me. You know what I mean? And you know, and unfortunately with social media now, stuff like that gets out. So all those kids, scouts are gonna see it, schools are gonna see it, and like, hey, ain't you that dude who talking crazy to Cam Newton? Yeah, we cool. No matter how good your grades are, how you can play, now we cool. You talking crazy to Cam Newton, you gonna talk crazy to me. You know what I mean? So, but right now, Cam Newton is the butt of jokes. Especially when he did the whole what you call game manager and game changer thing. So everybody is
Had a
cool to poke fun at him and whatnot.
whole
So
Stephen A.
the
Martin situation from ESPN.
yeah. So so Cam Newton is getting he's like the attention of butt of jokes right now. So, but again, we live in a day and age now to where the youngsters feel like they can disrespect the elders. I worked with juveniles for 6-7 years, and I worked in a jailhouse setting, and sometimes you gotta put hands on them. They don't understand nothing else but putting hands on them. You know what I mean? A lot of them really think, I'm gonna knock you out. They can be 5'5", 130, whatever. Sometimes you want to, slang and bang from to understand, they're saying what you want. Like you said, that grown man strength. Cam Newton's a full grown man with children. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's definitely disgusting. It's disheartening. What made me more upset it was I seen niggas who had shirts that said staff on it. How come y'all wasn't doing that? I saw y'all standing back looking around. How come y'all wasn't helping Cam? Y'all got staff on your shirt. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I'm glad. I'm glad nothing happened to Cam. I'm glad he stood his ground. You know what I mean? And whoever these kids are, hopefully, they may have some repercussions behind it. But
You
yeah,
made
shout out
a
to Cam Newton.
a
Yeah, bro.
good point. Hold on, coach. You made a good point. So y'all remember that Ricky Smiley joke when he was trying to get President ran on the field at the Grambling State game, and they had to get Mr. Willie from the ticket booth to go run her down. Y'all need to quit hiring these lazy or old Negroes that ain't gonna do nothing when the stuff go down. Hire the muscular. I don't give a damn what if they know how to handle themselves and they quick with it. Hire them to quit hiring these 30, 40-year olds that just want to sit and look tough. But when you get in the squeeze, they slow as hell. Y'all quit doing that,
Yeah.
man.
And I think from here on out, I know Cam Newton is for the people, but he need to walk around with security. There's no way anybody should be able to run up and put hands on you and you Cam Newton. You know what I mean? So he needs to start having security with him because everybody feel like he's sweet for whatever reason. So, you know,
Oh, Picasso, yeah, me and JB, we were coaching a wrestling team too, and yeah, they'll try you. But once you put in that grown man strength, they know. You know what I mean? One tried to pick me up too, but I blocked the crap out of it. But yeah, you're right.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Badass kids. Yeah, yeah.
well, like I say all the time, bro. I'm a coach, bro, and so I deal with it all the time. And you know, at my school year before last, like the deans at our school, like these dudes, they huge, bro. They like at the time they were like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and like like Big Joe was saying, you got a boy like 5'8", 5'9", trying to swing on a dude, play college ball, and I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I'm a grown man. I'm twice as strong. I'm 2 times stronger than you, and he 2 times stronger than me. Like, why would you think that's a good idea? Even it's the Cam Newton. Cam Newton is a freak of nature, bro. But it's just to go to show you these kids, they're just so irreverent, they're disrespectful. Like you said, I done seen, I done had instances where even like in football practice, in some instances, we did it playfully. Other instances, certain players got out of hand. Like I remember one day in practice, a player challenged me in Oklahoma drill. I'm like, all right, come on, son, let's go. I'm gonna show you, coach, man, I can handle you. And then of course, just to say the least, it didn't go well for him, So in so many instances, like you right, I done had to show these players, even these kids, oh man, coach, I bet you I could beat you one-on-one in basketball. Like, dude, you do realize I was the head basketball coach here for a reason, right? I'm like, I know you see me, I'm only 5'7". I'm like, cool. But I seen you play, bro. You a scrub. Like, you're garbage. And these kids, they just so delusional in their mindset, whether they think they could challenge you physically in football, basketball, even just physically in terms of, hand-to-hand combat. And I'm like, man, y'all kids nowadays, y'all delusional. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was to really put hands on y'all, like, it'll be a problem. So, it's just more of it just go to show you, like, this is the world we living in. This is the generation we living in. We need to get back to more nuclear families, and like we just living in an effed up world, effed up day and time,
And Brandon Brazil said I would have jumped in and helped Cam. Easy fun. I hear you, man. I would. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, like bro, like coach, like what you tell me, like I go back to home. Them kids ain't got no home training. The fact that you think it's cool you at an event and you think it's cool to jump on Cam Newton. I mean, like, obviously you ain't got no sense you ain't got no home training at all. You know what I mean? And like, it's just sad to say the least. You know what I mean? Like, I remember I was watching this video of like Willie McGinnis. Willie McGinnis is like played in the NFL.
Cyborg.
Dope linebacker, went to USC.
Cyborg.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like he was at some school visiting the kids, and talking to the kids at practice, and one of the kids said, "Man, you trash, man. I'm faster than you, man. You trash, man. I run a 4.4, or something like that." And Willis looked at him like he looked at him like real crazy. And the kid's like, "Man, I'm faster than you, man. You ain't gonna catch me." He's like, "Man, I got game speed, kid." And this is a kid in high school. Willie McGinnis is a multiple-time Super Bowl player. You know what I mean? Like, he's a starter in the NFL. He's not no third-string dude. And you talking crazy to him, talking about you faster than him, and you in high school. You know what I mean? So it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is, man.
And I know Coach gonna remember this. And I'm
speak to the delusional, bro. That's how delusional these kids are. It's like the 400-pound chick with 4 kids by 4 different baby daddies thinking, hey, I'm a 10. I hate to say it, bro, but I'm like, I'm so tired of every day telling these kids, like, bro, y'all are effing delusional. Like, we supposed to have this teacher versus student, teachers versus students game coming up, and we supposed to play against the boys on the boys basketball team. And he was like, man, coach, we gonna beat y'all. I'm like, son, y'all only won like 4 games the whole season. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, y'all got murdered on the glass like every effing game. If you look at the dean of students, he like 6'4", 6'5". I'm like, I wouldn't even need him. Just put me on the team against y'all, and I promise I'm getting like 20 boards, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the outer chick version of me right now. I'm like, bro, you are effing delusional. Like, I played you one-on-one. I didn't even play you hard, and I beat you. Like, dude, y'all delusional. Like,
Coach, you being a Saints fan, do you remember defensive end Charles Grant. Y'all drafted him in 2002.
Yes, I remember him. I mean,
He after his career, he was at a HBCU, and he was I think coach or he was basically a coach or something like that. And there's a video, it's on YouTube or on the internet somewhere where he basically got in a physical fight with a student, and he basically had to like ball this dude up because he was being so disrespectful and belligerent, and he could take Charles Grant, and this dude was 6'3". Charles Grant was 6'3", 290. Muscle.
And that's the thing about it. When he first got to the Saints, he was more of a speed end, but in the end, he was kind of like a tweener. But he wasn't big and strong enough to be a D tackle, but he wasn't small and athletic enough to be an end anymore because he had kind of eaten himself out of shape. But the thing about it is, even with that being said, dude, he played in the effing NFL. I mean, this dude was a beast for a lot of years. For you to be a college player that has probably a 1% chance of making it to the NFL, the challenge this dude who played years in the NFL was a team captain for the Saints. Bro, it just go to show you the delusion of some of these kids nowadays, bro.
I'm gonna tell one quick story that I'm gonna let JB have.
All right.
So when I was working with the juveniles in the facility, one of the kids snatched my water bottle off the desk. I said, "Hey man, give my water bottle back." He said, "No, I ain't giving it back to him." Like, bro, give my water bottle back. He's like, "No, you're gonna have to come get it from me." And he was dead serious. And I'm looking at him, this dude, getting 5'5", 5'6", soaking wet 140. And I'm all of 6'4", 295, bench pressing 315 for 15 reps, doing pull-ups with 100 pounds attached to me for 6 reps. I mean, squatting 5 plates for 10. I'm running a mile in like 9 minutes. So you really want me to come get it? Okay, no problem. My partner was next to me. I said, "Hey, whatever happens, don't worry about it." I gave him my walkie-talkie, whatever. And that, let's just say I got my water bottle back. I never had an incident from nobody ever again. Like Black Five fans say, you gotta put a demo down sometime. You feel me? So
Yeah,
that was like a bear attacking a rabbit. Boy.
Yeah, and see what you described. I got that same story like a dozen times over, Joe. The only difference is, like, I'm 5'7", 225, and I'm not the freaking nature you are. But even with that being said, it just go to show you like the delusion of these kids nowadays, bro, and how disrespectful they are.
Yeah, absolutely. My bad, JB. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, JB. I say you laugh. What you
don't apologize because
I definitely want to hear this, JB. Bring it to us, JB. We know you coming with it.
I gotta say this. I'm have to say it. These kids have turned soft. My dad has been saying it. He's been doing coaching. He's been doing coaching for years. He coached me and my brother, and our sports, and mentally, not just the sport, but mentally coached me and my brother. He's still doing that today, and he's always said that these kids up under us has become soft because they got everything around them now. Social media, the internet. They think they know everything. So when you have a dude named Cam Newton, now everybody on this panel know who Cam Newton is, and I'm not talking about know his name. We know who he is football wise. What he took in 1 year from playing for Blaine College, transferring to Auburn. Auburn didn't have incredible weapons on their team. And he won the national championship beating Oregon, Texas, teams like that. And I'm talking about the first incident. It was, and I know you're talking about not JB, but Coach 67. It was a linebacker saying that Ken was a scrub, and I'm like, bro. In probably about 5 years, you ain't even gonna be thought of again, bro. You need to be shutting up and listening. But just hitting on Willis McGinnis, I don't know what it is where you just look at somebody who's been there and say, I'm better than you. We had a NFL player to visit our school. He was an old school running back from the New England Patriots. I
Tony
forget his
Collins.
name.
Tony
Tony
Collins.
Collins for the New England Patriots. He plays in the 70s and 80s. I didn't look at him. I mean, he old now, but I didn't look at him and say I was better than him. I shut the hell up and listened to what he had to say. His wisdom. A lot of these kids, the Bible says that, you know, respect your mother and father, you know, so your days can be, last long on the earth. And I'll go one further. You do that with your elders, especially if they're not disrespecting you. A lot of these kids ain't gonna make it, bro. Now, everybody on this show is a proponent, and we support the NIL. We support the transfer portals. But one thing good about this show, we listen to all perspectives. I was listening to some of the brothers were saying about they think it was a bad idea because some of these, I think Joe even said it one show. Some of these dudes just going in the transfer portal because they not getting their way, and they're stuck in the portal. So going back to the Cam Newton thing, all those dudes that jumped Cam Newton, I don't care what the hell he was saying. Because everybody in this is honor thy mother and father. Thank you, Picasso. Everybody on this panel has been in coaching or a camp or something and had a coach get in their ass. Even if they were hustling, they wasn't doing particular things on the drill, they missed an assignment. When I was playing, I might have ran in the wrong gap when I should have stunted in one play, and I got cussed the hell out. That's what happens in football when you got a good coach. I don't give a damn what Cam was saying to you. You shouldn't have put your hands on him. He don't have to be out there. There's players like Charles Barkley. There's players, hell, like Shannon Sharp, that don't want to give back to your little ass. I mean, Charles Barkley does give $1 million at HBCU, but what I'm saying is, he ain't running no camp.
Yeah. Facts.
He giving you the money, and so y'all take care of them little dudes. There's a lot of players that choose not to help out because of this reason right here. Because they can't stand y'all mouths. I don't give a damn if it's the NFL. You should respect the dude that's like Joe Town, who's been and played collegiate football and know what it's like to get there. Some of you dudes don't have enough sense enough to listen to dudes like Joe Townsend or Coach or me and my brother. So them dudes who swung, man, I hate to say this, bro. Hope everything you do fail.
Damn.
Until you make that right. Till you make that right. Because he don't have to, I don't give a thing. I mean, I listened to a whole lot of podcasts. I heard the jokes about Cam Newton him being spicy, being dressed with. I don't give a damn about none of that. He's a black man and he does this shit for free. Well, not probably not. I don't know ins out, but he's probably doing it for free for his community. And you swung on him or whatever, probably because he's telling you what you not doing.
And again, like you said, even if he did, let's say Cam Newton did say something disrespectful, y'all
Or,
don't, yeah, that's not the way to go about it, man. And
or
plus,
you not cutting it.
exactly,
Man, look, Marshawn Lynch, hold on, Jared. I'm gonna let you cook, bro. Marshawn Lynch had a camp years ago. And little dude in his camp was messing up his drill. And I can't remember what he said to him. He was like, but long story short, get your ass out my drill. His mama had something to say. And she went to the news or whatever. I guess TMZ, whatever. Man, Marshawn Lynch ran up the bleachers and got in his mom's face and was like, yeah, this is why I told your son that. Because he's not listening. And that's the coaches that I had. I had that coach from birth.
yep.
I had that coach from birth. My pops was my first coach, football coach. Some of you dudes, I don't give a care how big you is. 6'6". Some of y'all are how fast you are. Some of you guys' heart is made of Play-Doh. You soft.
But
and the piggyback on the Marshawn Lynch story, he was up there and he first said, "Is there a man around I can talk to? Is there a man anywhere around?"
Facts.
No, ain't no man around. Don't need no man. I'm here. All that kind of stuff. So Marshawn tried to be reasonable, but hey,
so
you know how it is in the community.
I'm gonna direct this to you, JB. You say all that, man. So is it them young dudes? They got time to change, man. But what are they coming from? Are they parents allowing that disrespect?
It has to be learned somewhere, bro.
Yeah.
When we met Ted Washington and Joe Horn, Big Ted Washington and Joe Horn, and Marcus Allen came to E.E. Smith, and we met them at a camp. It did not occur to my head like, oh, these dudes is washed up. I'm better than them. When these dudes has been there and done that. And these dudes probably, I don't know what they doing. They trying to get clicks. They're trying to get on social media. When I first saw that, not this one, but the first interaction Cam had at one of them camps, and some scrub ass dudes that probably ain't a 2-star. Talking about Cam is trash. I said, boy, and it was a linebacker. I said, boy, if you was on that defense and Cam was still playing at Auburn, he would have run y'all ass smooth over. You don't know who you talking to, football wise. That's one of the quarterbacks that we probably never gonna see again. That can literally take a whole team and put it on their back and win a national championship. I love Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson ain't even do that. Put some respect on his name. But, and he almost did it in the NFL.
Yeah, he came real close in the NFL, bro. And the thing about it is, just to kind of back your point, basically, with all of these, I'm a teacher, bro. It starts at home because, first of all, I remember this one game I coached, bro. It was the playing game. Whoever won the game was going to basically make the playoffs, right? And I had a girl that was starting on my team, and at one point, and of course, she was the only girl on my team. I only had 15 players, and across the field, the opposing team, and it's our homecoming. It was like on a Saturday, You know, middle school game, whoever win it, they made the playoffs. The opposing team on the other side of the field, they got like 45 players. We got like 15, right? So, they have a lot more depth, and the talent is about equal. But the thing that really made the difference is the fact that, it was our homecoming, but it was a glorified home game for them because they had way more fan support, everything, right? So, the mom comes to drop her daughter off. Now she's starting in the game, and she asked, my assistant coach, like, hey, what time the game is so I can know what time to pick her up. And he looking at me, he's like, Coach, she the only girl we got on our team and she's starting. Like, her mom is not gonna come and watch her play. And I say, Coach, look at literally across the field, like look on the field, like the opposing team, like all of their parents, not just our parent, both parents, and we not just talking about our player, we talking about almost their whole team. And even just looking at these parents, like at my school, just to kind of give you an example, I maybe I've told you this story already, but I had an instance where there's this girl in my class, like instead of her telling me she some students in my class threw a shoe at her, so she texted her mom. My mom was up there in like 5 minutes, right? And of course, she up here for some nonsense, for some mess, right? Like literally a week later, the girl went dressed out in my PE class. So I called the mom. You think the mom had the same kind of energy she had the week before for some nonsense? And I say, see, look, and I see it all the time. That's the reason why these girls nowadays, they're so masculine. The boys are so feminine because you have all these single parent households with no man. I mean, even like when we were in school, you might have had kids that might not have both parents, but there was always some kind of male figure, whether it was an uncle, whether it was an older cousin, an older brother, somebody kind of teach these kids something. But these kids nowadays, it just kind of speak to how emotional they are. That was the reason why, they tried to jump him the way they did, because it was an emotional reaction. And like I was saying, man, I had coaches, they yell at you, fuss at you, cuss at you, slap you in the back of the helmet. I remember when I was playing freshman football, I didn't pull when he told me to pull, so he slapped me in the back of the helmet like 5 times. But that was part of playing football, you know what I'm saying? And he's like you said, bro, these kids now
exactly.
They soft, bro.
Exactly. Grab you by your face mask and get up in your face.
Happened so many times, bro.
So I'm to the point, man. If parents ain't teaching their kids how to be respectful to their elders, I'm not saying no kid is perfect. You know what I mean? We all had our bad moments, but just downright, just evil, damn near demonic, or demonic, just straight up demonic. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. No, I'm not helping you because I might get harmed in the process of trying to help you, thinking you got an easy lick because I'm being nice to you. So and that's why a lot can we be real? That's why a lot of black folk don't like helping their own. And I'm not saying that's an excuse. That's an excuse, but
right.
And we have a lot of examples of black men and women helping their own, and it's people appreciating it. But this is an example of why a lot of people don't. So don't let this overshadow the good things a lot of you brothers and sisters are currently doing in the past and now to help their community.
But one last point,
this is an ugly reality. But go ahead,
bro. One last point I want to make. Joe made an excellent point. Like Cam should have security no matter where you go. I mean, the 7H roll up to the meet and greet, with armed security, bro. Everywhere Cam should go, Cam should have some security. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know you kind of want to be like Ali, a man of the people, but bro, we living in a whole different society nowadays. Just 2024, man. People are crazy out here nowadays.
But I forgot to say that. And I know, Joe, you were about to say something, but I got it before I forget. You celebrities All you, I'm talking about black men and women who got money. Listen to me closely. When you hire security, hire professionals. Don't hire a friend or somebody you think that's gonna look tough.
Ex-military, preferably.
Ex-military somebody, because you all you hiring is a bunch of these
Our current
dudes
police
that just
officer,
want to
one of the
sit
two.
there, right? That want to sit there and holler at these females and look tough. And so when something happens, they freeze, or they not paying attention, or they
and
not on their game
and
because
you
they
get
got
your
a plate in their hand or something.
shit combed back because he's sitting there got a plate of reels. Yeah, man, good point.
I mean, like to make this real brief. I mean, a lot of guys, from what I know, I mentioned this earlier. A lot of guys don't have camps because they don't want to get sued for stuff like this. I mean, if you're hosting the camp and somehow you got to put hands on the kid or put hands on the parent, you can get sued for that. You know what I mean? So a lot of them just don't want to deal with the hassle. You know what I mean? They may throw a camp, put their name on it. They may guest speak, and after that, they dipping out. They ain't even staying. You know what I mean? Because they just don't want to deal with the mess. And then also like there are some players like for example like Steph Curry had like a camp, but he priced it at a point to where none of the riffraff is gonna be there. I think it's something like $2,000 to go and the camp was sold out. You think Steph Curry had any issues at his camp? You think anybody ran up on him and swung up on him? No, because everybody who was there, you know, had some manners and had some home training, and their parents were probably there too. Because they go to 2Gs for a camp, that's gonna weed out a lot of people, and and then also, we've never heard nobody doing this at a Manning camp. A Manning passing academy been going on for a long time. We never heard any of these issues over there. You know what I mean? So whatever that's worth,
Yeah, I
is
don't
what
like
it
that,
is.
and I'm not that Negro courage, and I really want to say
Yeah,
the other word.
yeah.
You ain't gonna show your
Explain,
ass.
Jared.
So I'm going to say it. Nigga courage is basically branches off of cooning. So nigga courage. Let's say I go to Coast 67 party, right, and show my ass and want to pull out the gun and stuff like that. But I go to this white friend's party and and I'm on my best behavior. That's nigga
Act
courage.
like you got some sense.
So nigga courage is a black person who they will try with that bullshit with black people, but ain't on the same shit with anybody else, black, white, Mexican, Asian, because there's a certain tolerance they won't allow. So you'll pull a gun at the black parade. You'll try to um jump on each other at a damn mall and shit like that. But when there's a lot of white people around, you're on your best behavior. So that's a good point, Joe, because I doubt them boys would if they were invited to the Peyton Manning's camp, they wouldn't have did that shit.
Oh, it wouldn't have
No,
came in their head to do that.
I don't respect nigga courage. I don't.
I'm,
They
I'm,
wouldn't
I'm,
say, they wouldn't look at Peyton Manning and say, "Oh, this is a slow old dude. I'm better than him." They're not gonna look at him like that. They think of Cam of of the dude on the corner that they know. That's what they look at Cam as.
he's that washed up OG with a 40 asking for change. That's what he think Cam is. You know what I mean? But I mean, like for example, like when I was younger, I went to Ohio State football camp. I was like a junior in high school. That was the time of Maurice Claret. So I was out there. I balled out. and everything. Talked to Jim Tressel and everything, and I had a great time. But you think
Uh-huh.
anybody acted? You think anybody acted a fool over there?
No.
You think anybody jumped on Jim Tressel or jumped on anybody over there? All right, everybody was on their best behavior. You dig what I'm saying? So, hey, just just typical nigga stuff.
It is, man. This we could talk about all day, man. Any final words on this topic before we move on to the main topic, which is what this show is about?
Nothing, man. That's it, bro. It's just we got to do better, man. And it's so like it's so
You cut out, JB.
dumb.
Yeah, my final words is to all you parents: take care of your kids, so we ain't got none of these issues.
Exactly.
For real. I mean, like I said earlier, I think we just go back to like real parents because, at my school in particular, I see too many like unfit parents. Often you call home for such and such cutting up in class. You, of course, they're changing their phone numbers often. And when you won't get in contact with the parent, you can't get in contact with the parent, that type of thing. And when the parents do come, like for example, if you take the kid phone, like they show up at the school in 5 minutes, but if you tell them, hey, little Johnny got all else in class, nah, hey, all right, so what, like, whatever. And the thing about it is, if a lot of these unfit parents start having kids, and in addition to that, we just got back to a nuclear family where you have where I was raised, like mom and dad. I think we'll be a lot better off, not just as a well, first and foremost as a black community, but as a society as a whole, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. American culture is trash in terms of the way we live in nowadays, bro. The society as a whole is just stupid, bro.
It is, man. Um, JB was gonna say something. He cut out.
No, man. I was just gonna say, man. If it was up to me, man, like that's why I keep saying, bro. God know what He's doing when He give people certain money. Because if it was me, I have a whole platoon of people with armed guns ready to haul any ignorant ass nigga out of there. Mama, daddy, and all. Cause not too while ago we had one a coach at a little league game got shot because a parent got I guess it was a disagreement and one of the coaches got shot.
Yeah, wasn't that was old boy brother who played in the NFL? What's his name?
Yeah,
Tillman. Yeah, was that not Tillman? What's his name? Akeem Talib. Yeah, his brother. Yeah,
I keep to lead people.
yeah, his brother. Yeah,
It's like and Jared just hit it right on the head. The N word courage. Because people think they can pull it off with you because they feel comfortable with that. But okay, I'll be just like 78. I'm gonna hire certain people. So when you act a certain, when you think you're gonna pull that off, you gonna touch me or one of my players at my camp, we gonna haul your ass right out of there, and we gonna give you your refund. You can have your money back. You can have your money back because we don't want you in here messing up the experience for the rest of these parents and these kids. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. Y'all cooked on that, man. It's no excuse for that, man. Type of behavior. They young, so hopefully, God willing, they somebody sit them down and explain to them why what they did is out of line.
Yeah, but if people get to see this, they like y'all said earlier, they might have effed up their future though.
Yeah, yeah, because it's all over the internet right now. But just wrapping everything up, man. Our final topic we're gonna talk about the 2024 Hall of Fame NFL class, y'all. So one of the first inductees was Dwight Freeney, former Indianapolis Colt. He played from 2002 to 2017. He had 125 sacks and a half, 299 solo tackles, and 47 forced fumbles. What do y'all what do y'all think about Dwight Freeney going into the Hall of Fame for this 2024 class?
Bro, Franny was a dog. And, more than anything, just watching each of these players get that knock on the door saying, hey, you've been accepted to the NFL Hall of Fame. Bro, it's just heartwarming. The world we live in, the previous topic is a perfect example how there's just so much negativity in the world that we live in nowadays. To see something positive, to see somebody who dedicated their life to a sport, get accepted and reach a accolade and an honor that they strive their whole life to reach. Bro, it's just kind of heartwarming. And, I feel like he was an excellent player and he deserved it.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree, man. This is a lot of notes, so we moving from a negative topic to more upbeat. So I highly agree. Dwight Freeney was his patented move was that dreaded spin move. Offensive tackles could not stand that spin move because you like in basketball, you knew a certain player was going to do the move, but you couldn't stop it. That's what Dwight Freeney had. A lot of tackles or guards, if he did a stunt inside, knew that spin move was coming, but they couldn't stop it. Most folk could not stop it, man. So congratulations to Dwight Freeney. JB, what you think on Dwight Freeney?
Man, he one of my favorite players. Him and Robert Rathers used to terrorize the offensive tackles, and just me being a defensive lineman. It was a perfect that spin move, man. It was a perfect move because what he'll do is he might bull rush you one way or rip you one way, and he'll use the offensive line leverage and spin off of a different direction. It was like some Hakeem the Dream type stuff, Tim Duncan in the post type stuff, man. It was excellent.
No, you
He
said it
had
right the
that
first
one
time.
move,
You said it right the first time. That was more of a dream shake type
the
move.
dream shake,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Dream shake. It was, and the reason why I bring up Tim Duncan, because the spin was basic, but it worked all the time. Tim Duncan was basic, but he always scored. I mean, it worked for him.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know
he
what I'm
was
saying?
extremely
So,
fundamentally sound, but I could think of, a lot more NBA players, like even Jordan. Now, Jordan had a dirty spin move, but it was kind of like Freeney's spin move, where Freeney would spin, and he would kind of use that elbow to kind of elbow you
right,
off as he was going by. And Jordan would do the same thing. Jordan would spin on you, and he would take that hand that he just spun you with the near side hand, and he would push you and push you backward to push you backward and propel himself forward. Like Freeney was doing the same thing with the elbow.
that's a better. Tim Duncan came to my mind because he was good in the post,
Yeah,
but
he had.
Jordan is
Yeah,
a better.
you were right. You were right. Those patented moves, you know it's coming. You can't stop.
Right,
But Dwight Freeney, it wasn't really the word I would take out is basic because his spin move was like it was a violent, fast motion. It was fast as hell.
right, right. So yeah, man, Franny, man, he deserved it, man. He was one of those players, especially on that coach defense, that you had to count for or try to game plan for and pray that Robert Mathis didn't have a good night because if him and Robert Mathis had a good night, your whole game plan of passing the ball is out the window. You know? or having your quarterback try to go deep shots is out the window because they're gonna get back there.
Yeah,
So congratulations to Dwight Freeney.
yeah. Like um, Jay Barr said, congratulations, D. Freeney. Big Joe, what do you think on Dwight Freeney?
Oh man. Oh man. To a fellow D lineman, if need be. The definition of a great player. You know what I'm gonna do, but ain't nothing you gonna do to stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Yes, sir.
ain't different than a Kobe or Michael saying, all right, I'm gonna dribble left, post up, spin, and I'm gonna kiss it off the glass, and nothing you can do about it. And they'll do it. So everybody knew Dwight Freeney was gonna spin. Nobody could stop it. But also he had a nasty dip. He would dip under most linemen at tall. He maybe 6 foot, maybe, but when he get low, he like 5'7", 5'6". And you got all these 6'5", 6'6", Jonathan Ogdens and all these guys, they can't bend that well like
Yep,
that.
that's
Not
why
too many
how
big guys can.
exactly that's how Elvis Dumervil got all them sacks. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shout out to Elvis. Yeah, Louisville. Yes, sir. So
Yes,
you
sir.
know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to Dwight Freeney. He's much deserved. He was a freak of nature when he played. He's one of those guys where you have the game plan for. You know what I mean? You always have to know what 93 was. Even to his later years, he still was spinning fools and handling his business. You know what I mean? And he's not the most physically imposing guy. He don't have like big arms or anything like that, but he had a quick twitch, he had a phenomenal get off, and he had huge legs that made him very explosive. You know what I mean? He don't look like a Vernon Golston. I don't know if you remember Vernon Golston, who came from Ohio State, and he didn't
Yeah,
pan out at all in the
Yes,
NFL. Vernon
Lord.
yeah,
Golston was
yeah.
a freak. Oh my God. I was like, okay, Vernon Golston gonna be a monster. He went to the NFL, he didn't do nothing. He was so
He,
bad he gave back money. He was so bad. You know what I mean? but but like I was talking to my dad the other day, there's some that play football that you look at me like, oh man, he ain't nobody, he ain't nothing. You go out there, they toss folks all day long. I mean, guys have titties, can't bench press, they got flaps. Oh man, he ain't nobody. Then you see him out there, 5 sacks. You know what I mean? It's just funny how that works in the NFL. Like Warren Sapp, 225, like 9 reps. He built like Oompa Loompa, but he's one of the best D linemen ever played. It's just funny how that works. But anyway, shout out to Dwight. Shout out to him getting that nod. I'm happy that he got a thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good, good. Explanation on why this gentleman is so great. Um, Let me read these comments. He said, Picasso said, kids automatically think they can beat up the world, but I took my ex kids and friends to a boxing gym and jujitsu gym, and they changed all that up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of times you putting them in activity where they're going against bigger and stronger kids, they'll let them know that they ain't as big as bad as they think they are. So that was a smart move, Picasso. He said some of these people don't even have the finances to raise these kids. They popping out. Yes, sir. That's true. That's true. But moving on. Devin Hester, Mr. Ridiculous. He was a punt returner, kick returner. He originally was recruited as a wide receiver in college, but moved to DB. And he was recruited as a recruited. He was drafted as a defensive back, but as we all know, growing up watching Devin Hester, he was basically, they turned him into a wide receiver and a special teams weapon. One of the greatest we've seen. I don't think there's going to be no one like him. Devin Hester played from 2006 to 2016. This dude had 3,311 yards and 16 touchdowns. Now, some people may think that's not a lot. If you go to the internet, go to Pro Reference, and look at the breakdown of his yards each year, especially from that 06 year to 010, 011. It was crazy. especially at punt return. And a lot of people didn't want it. Would have probably been even his numbers probably even be bigger than this if people would have kicked to him. But y'all remember a lot of special team coaches, opposing special team coaches would say, "Don't kick it to Devin Hester." So there was a point in time where Devin Hester wasn't getting no action because people didn't kick it to him. So starting with coach, what do you think of my man, Mr. Ridiculous, Devin Hester?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, Devin Hester was a phenomenal punt and kick returner. I remember him being in college at the U, and I remember a game they played against LSU in a bowl game. And bro, I'm not gonna lie, he was a heck of a punt kick returner. I remember even in the NFL, in fact, he even returned, a kick return for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and I'll probably say, of course, he patterned his, him being a punt kick returner a lot after Coach Prime. But the thing about Coach Prime was, he was a dominant DB, whereas Hester, he really just was so dynamic as a punt and kick returner. In college, he really didn't have a position. And like you were saying, bro, they put him at DB in college. And then he got to the NFL, and he was so dynamic. They really didn't have a position for him. So to justify and rationalize them giving him the big payday they gave him, they put him at wide receiver. But he never really, kind of like other people like Steve Smith, Deshaun Jackson, like they developed their receiving skills, their route running skills, so on and so forth. Devin Hester never really developed those skills as a route runner and so on and so forth. But I think there were better ways they could have used him. The same way Bill Parcells used Dave Meggett. We talked about like Dave Meggett earlier. We talked about Mel Gray. He kind of was like those guys, except he was on a whole nother level. And like you said, it was like years in the NFL that teams avoided kicking to him. I know even from a coaching standpoint, like they had like miniature middle school versions of Devin Hester. I remember this one player at opposing school. Like I told my opponent, I'm like, son, you kick the ball out of bounds. He was like, yes, sir. I said, son, don't even kick it to him, punt it out of bounds. And NFL teams used to use that same strategy, like, hey, angle the ball to the sideline, just kick it out of bounds so he don't have an opportunity to get it. They did the same thing as a kick returner, like they would squib it, don't kick it to him deep. So, these are things that, just to kind of show his greatness. I just wish, as great a punt and kick returner as he was, I wish he would have had more of an imprint on the offensive end, and he would have had a coach that really know how to use him in terms of like running more reverses with him, jet sweeps, wildcat packages, tunnel screens, bubble screens, so on and so forth. But he was a phenomenal punt kick returner, bro.
Phenomenal, man. Big Joe, what do you think about this Mr. Ridiculous Devin Hester?
And Devin Hester was the truth. I mean, I've been following Devin Hester ever since he was in college. You know what I mean? So, Deion Sanders ran so Devin Hester could fly. Deion Sanders said that Devin Hester is the best punt returner, is the best returner that there is, and we all knew what Deion Sanders was when he was playing. You know what I mean? So for Prime to say that lets you know how legit Devin Hester is. I mean, for him, I believe didn't he run one back in the Super Bowl one game? Like he the opening, he ran one back, but
opening,
yeah, but they lost that game, right?
Yep, the Bears lost. The Colts won.
Yeah. The Colts won. So that way, my man, who we talking about earlier, who played with the Colts, was it Bethea? So that way Bethea can get a ring, but Devin Hester's the truth. He was, he didn't get used that well as a wide receiver, but it's hard going from DB and then a punt returner, kick returner, and then also try to do wide receiver. That's hard. Wide receiver is one of the positions like, you got been doing from young to kind of get, you can't just go to the NFL like and then try to be wide receiver. It's kind of like when Tim Tebow come back try to be a tight end, like, bro, you never played tight end before. You know what I mean? So, but like, he did the best that he could, and during that time they had Jay Cutler and they had Benson as Cedric Benson, I believe, as a running back. It was Rex Grossman. Oh, okay. Even worse. But He ain't worse. But yeah, no, shout out to Devin Hester. For him to get in there as a special teams guy, let how legit he is. You know what I mean? So even to see that now with the NFL kind of getting away from the kickoffs and punt returns and trying to make different rules. For him to get that and get in there. Shout out to him.
Yeah, and kind of make a counterpoint to what you said, Big Joe. You're right. I just was saying, I think they could have used him on the offensive end more as a playmaker in terms of jet sweeps, reverses, tunnel and bubble screens. I didn't say he had to be like us. Steve Smith made the transition from an elite punt returner to an elite wide receiver. I'm not saying he should have been what Steve Smith was. I'm just saying I wish they would have used him more like a Dave Meggett type in terms of just he was so dynamic once he got the ball in space. Just try to make a conscious effort to get him the ball more, except for just on special teams.
Oh no, I hear you. A guy that I think of is Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? So no, I definitely hear you. But you need a guy like Andy. You need a guy like You need a guy like Andy Reid to come up with stuff like that. Every coordinator ain't like that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah. But hey, he's in the Hall of Fame. So hey, man, hey, that's it right there.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. JB, what you think about Mr. Ridiculous, Devin Hester?
I mean, what you said, he was ridiculous, man. I mean, and you hit the nail right on the head. He could have had more stats than that, but people just didn't kick to him. He was fun to play with in Madden. You know what I'm saying? So I used to. I mean, I'm not a Chicago Bears fan, but I used to play with the Bears in Madden just to play with Devin Hester. To see if I could run one back. And I think he was the only player in Madden with 100 speed.
Yeah, he was the first.
It used to. Because usually it go up to 99, but they put his at 100. So, I mean, he is well deserved, man. He was that player that you do not, if you were the opposite of him, you do not want to kick it to him because he was going to return it 75% of the time. All he needed was a crease. And he had very good vision. There's no wonder why they ain't put him in running back with his vision. But congratulations to Devin Hester.
I think it was more of a size thing in terms of them not putting him in running back more, even just for giving him the ball on tosses and quick pitches and that type of thing. I think if he'd have been bigger, they probably would have tried him in running back.
Yeah. But man, you got players like Tyreek Cohen from, North Carolina A&T, so who played with the Bears as well,
Yeah. Yeah, he was very small, but he was able to make a decent career.
Like a Darren Sproles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So can I ask y'all a question? Does that mean players like Dante Hall, Joshua Cribbs, maybe one day get a chance to make it to the Hall of Fame as a returner?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think it's gonna be hard. I think maybe it might open the door for him. And I'm not gonna lie, as dynamic as Dante Hall and Josh Cribbs was, dude, Hester was on he was in a whole nother.
He was a whole
nother. Yeah, I agree.
Now I like Dante Hall, the human joystick. He was. They used to call him that because he used to juke you out your shoes. He used to do some Reggie Bush stuff. He'll go one way, then he'll, go the opposite way and then return it for a touchdown. He was that quick. So, Joshua Cribbs, we're familiar with Joshua Cribbs being a Baltimore Ravens fan. Yeah, he was he was a quarterback in college.
Kent State.
Kent State. Great returner. Hall of Famer? Nah. I think he's probably going to be in the Ring of Honor or something like that in Cleveland because he was a very, very good player. He was one of them players that you was worrying about actually getting off especially in special teams. Um, and I guess he was an okay receiver. So
Yeah, and I hate to say it, the thing I think about him the most is when he ran that crossing route and Marvin Harrison tried to just not Marvin Harrison, I mean James
destroyed
Harrison.
him.
Yeah, just destroyed him, bro. And I'm like,
Oh, he
oh
had a lot of concussions. He
Oh
had a
yeah.
lot of concussions, man. He got baptized against us. Um, one when he was, I think it was a punt return or something like that. But yeah, he used to get knocked out a lot, actually.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad, but other than but I just remembering his returns and his punt returns, he was a good man. He was good. Um, uh, just moving on out the Miami, the U, Andre Johnson. He played all from '03 to 2016. He's one of the players I always said if he would have had Matt, don't disrespect Matt Shaw. Matter of fact, with Matt Shaw, Andre Johnson proved if he had consistent quarterback play, consistent decent quarterback play, he can put up high numbers, which he did with Matt Shaw as his quarterback at some point in time. But the other quarterbacks that he had, the Sage Rosenfels and the David Carrs, and he still was able to eat with him, with them. That's how great of a wide receiver he was, man. And that's why he's in the NFL. Tough. Um, you can't put no flimsy cornerback on him. Couldn't. He was too strong to jam. You could try to jam him. Ask Cortland Finnegan. Um, I mean, he was a load. He was a load as a receiver, man. He was a tough man. Tough man. Um, just throw it up. Just throw it up, man. Um, Going to you, Coach. What do you think of Andre Johnson, man?
Man, both at the U and with the Houston Texans, man, Andre Johnson was just a dog, bro. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that U team was loaded in college, but he was a beast in college. And like you said, I mean, no diss to Matt Shaw. The Atlanta Falcons got what they could out the Houston Texans in terms of, trying to, get, he ended up with the Texans. And had he had like a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, bro, the sky's the limit for Andre Johnson. But the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame, bro, it speaks to the greatness of him. And like you said, bro, as great as he is, and he had so many great years in college and in the NFL, the thing I think about him the most, bro, is just him just dog walking Cortland Finnegan, bro. It's like that's the thing I think about Andre Johnson when I think of him the most, bro. Just the two of them going there and him just dog walking him,
Big Joe, what you think of Andre Johnson?
I mean, Andre Johnson was a beast. I mean, like during that era, we had Andre Johnson and we had Calvin Johnson. You know what I mean? So it was always, who was the best wide receiver in the NFL during that time. You know what I mean? But like y'all said, if Andre Johnson actually had a legitimate quarterback, like imagine if Deshaun Watson played with Andre Johnson or CJ Stroud, or if Cam Newton had Andre Johnson, imagine, the numbers they put up. But he's in the Hall of Fame because no matter who's back there at quarterback, you know what I mean, he gonna produce. That just shows the kind of guy that he is. You know what I mean? He's a high point wide receiver. You know what I mean? Catch the ball at the highest point. He actually catch the ball with his hands. You see a lot of catches he'll make you. His hands were so strong, he'll catch the ball and they still could knock it out of his hands. Nowadays, guys are getting punched out all the time. Real strong hands, athletic, fast guy from the U. You know what I mean? He definitely deserves to be there. He was a dog, you know what I mean, in his era. Again, it was either Calvin Johnson or Andre Johnson. You know what I mean? So shout out to Andre. You know what I mean? Guys like that, you wish, you know what I mean, like a Fred Taylor. You wish like Fred Taylor played on a good team. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, shout out to Andre. You know what I mean? He definitely well deserved. He's a game changer. He's a dog, and a lot of wide receivers, a lot of the young wide receivers watch film on him. Excellent route running, strong hands, catch the ball at the highest point. That's what you want all your wide receivers to do. Don't catch the ball with your chest. A natural catcher of the ball. That's what Shannon Sharp always talks about. So shout out to Andre.
Shout out to Andre, man. And if y'all, while Big Joe was talking, I was showing y'all the fight between Courtland Finnick and Andre Johnson. Um, and don't think Courtland Finnegan was no punk. Courtland Finnegan was a Pro Bowl corner. It just he couldn't mess with Andre, man. Couldn't mess with Andre. JB, what you think of Andre Johnson in his career, man?
Uh, Fantastic player. I mean, you guys hit it on the head, man. If he would have had a consistent quarterback play, maybe his numbers would be more than it is now. I mean, uh, the Houston Texans will have is known for having wide receivers like this. Him and Deshaun Hopkins would succeed even if they had good quarterback play or not. That's how you know if a wide receiver is good or not. Even if the quarterback play is poor, it's still getting 1,000 yards a season. You know, um, and then like you said, like Town said, I mean, you had the Johnsons, man. You had Chad Johnson, you had Calvin Johnson, and you had Andre Johnson. You know, but it was well deserving, man. I'm glad to see not and it's not about the Super Bowl rings. I'm glad to see that these players that bust their ass in the league and been on inconsistent franchises get recognition of their fantastic careers.
Yes, just for the stats to be like it is, man. 1,062 receptions, um, 14,185 yards, and 70 touchdowns, bro. All with inconsistent quarterback play, bro. Amazing, amazing. Julius Peppers, the sideboard, played at from '02 to 2018. This dude had 159 and a half sacks. This dude, if I can't explain it. So if you want to see the mixture of power and speed coming off the edge, Julius Peppers was fun to watch, man. And you needed to know, as an offensive coordinator, you needed to know where he was at all times. This dude was a wrecking machine. If your
Can I go
tackle,
first, bro?
yeah, if your tackle wasn't more than decent, then you can wrap it up on that end, bro. You can wrap it up. You couldn't stop this dude, man. JB, go ahead and take it. What you think of Julius Peppers, the sideboard?
Uh, I just wanted to go first, man. I got to say this, man. Julius Pepper was a freak of nature. And I'm talking about at the D line position. I mean, we've seen plenty of them where um, they were strong enough to be on the inside to play defensive tackle. They're quick enough to go play on the outside, play defensive end, and chase down your running back. I mean, we seen here in Baltimore the Hotenadas, where Hotenada was strong enough. He's a defensive tackle, but he's quick enough and fast enough he can put him on the outside, kind of like J.J. Watt.
Jared Allen.
He's Jared Allen. Julius Peppers is one of them where he's too big for you, too fast, too strong. And you better double team him. And if you don't double team him, then he's gonna get probably about 1 or 2 sacks per game.
Tell him what he
if you don't
played.
game plan for him.
He got a
He
ring, but
got a
not
ring for
not
the North in basketball.
yes.
So he already he got footwork. You know, I mean,
Freak, athletic freak.
he's a freak, athletic freak. He,
Coach, what you think of Julius Peppers being
Well,
fine?
I saw him play a lot, considering the Carolina Panthers plays in the same division as my Saints. And bro, I'm not gonna lie, like JB was saying, he's a freak of nature. I mean, somebody as fast as he is, as strong as he is, and you know, he just was one of these individuals that just had God gifted ability. And the thing I think about all the time, y'all didn't point it out, but they used to point out how he really didn't love the game. But the fact that he's still an NFL Hall of Fame is just to go to show you how gifted he was in terms of just his physical gifts and him being a freak of nature. Imagine if he had the passion for the game to go along with his just phenomenal gifts and talents. Bro, he probably would be like the greatest defensive end of all time.
Yeah, I'm a add this in our era, in that 2000 era, he was one of the best defensive ends that anybody seen until the J.J. Watts came and the Jared Allens came and so on and so forth. So he was up there. He was definitely up there. Javon Curse, thank you, Brand. 86 goals. Javon Curse, another one.
Oh, I mean,
a freak.
don't get me wrong, bro. He a freak, in terms of, like you said, of that era. But I mean, if you talking about all the time, like your Lawrence Taylors, like your Reggie Whites, like your J.J. Watts, he probably a tier below that. But he definitely was a freak of nature. And like I said, just imagine if he'd had that passion for the game, bro. He could have been like like you said, like maybe a Lawrence Taylor, like a Derek Thomas, he wasn't as strong as a Reggie White, but I mean he could have been, on in a whole another stratosphere too,
Nobody's gonna be as strong as Reggie White.
Well, I mean, of course, that hump move was something ridiculous, but yeah.
What he did the Larry Allen big ass.
Yeah, bro, for real. And Larry Allen was probably one of the best
Strongest man in the league.
Yeah, and I mean,
and
not only that,
swung his ass.
Greatest offensive line in the NFL I've seen in my lifetime. And for somebody just to manhandle Larry Williams like that, oh my goodness, bro.
And I want to make a correction. They won the Maui in basketball when he was on that 2000 team. They won the Maui invitation, but they ain't win the. They was kicked out the Final Four by I think Florida State into the year 2000. So my apologies. Me and JB's apologies, but I mean that's how good he was, man. He was an athlete. Big Joe, I'll definitely save you you for last on purpose. What you think about Julius Peppers?
I watched so much film on Julius Peppers. It's disgusting. So much film. He was one of my favorite players to watch growing up. Like when my junior college number was number 90 because of Julius Peppers. I wore a visor because of Julius Peppers. My background on my computer at the time was Julius Peppers. You know what I mean? So to me, Julius Peppers was everything. During that time, it was Julius Peppers and Mario Williams. Those were the two guys I mainly watched the most because in junior college, they had me playing DN. They kicked me out the DN. And, I was doing my thing out there. So I was trying to see what I could do. But Julius Peppers was a freak of nature. Like you said, for him to actually get some run on a North Carolina Tar Heel basketball team, that says a lot. Not too many guys. There's a lot of two-way players, but to actually get some run and play, for an historic college team like that says by the athletic ability. You know what I mean? And in the NFL, he wasn't the strongest guy in the world, but for him to be that tall, he was still strong, and he could bend the corner, and he could rip, and you can kick him down the three technique, and he could stunt, and you could put him, and you can drop him off in coverage. All while he's 6'6", about 290. You know what I mean? So Julius Peppers is definitely one of those premier defensive ends that you can watch footage on all day. He has phenomenal get off, hand movements. I mean, I used to mimic all his workout. I will go on YouTube and Google Julius Peppers workout videos, find them all, and mimic them just to see what he can do. You know what I mean? He's not a 315 bench guy, but he's highly explosive, super explosive, very pliable, athletic guy. You know what I mean? So Julius Peppers, Reggie White, I mean, shit,
Derek Thomas, Lawrence Taylor.
Deacon Jones, Lawrence Taylor. I mean, Reggie White. All those dudes. There's like the goats to me when it comes to D linemen. But yeah, Julius Peppers. Like Coach was saying, he might not be at the tier of J.J. Watt or whatnot, but one for Julius Peppers and wouldn't be no J.J. Watt. You know what I mean? So shout out to Pep. I'm glad he made it. And also, y'all forgot he dated Beyonce's sister too. He dated Solange for a while. So he was doing that
I
way
didn't
way
know that
before
one,
Travis
bro.
Kelsey was doing it. You dig what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
didn't know that.
So
I didn't know that,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, he dated Solange for a while. You know what I mean? But shout out to Pep.
Shout out, shout out. All right, I didn't know he dated Solange. Yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. Okay. Let's go. Patrick Willis and then Mr. Shelton is still in here. He probably glad we getting on one of his boys. Patrick Willis. He played from '07 to 2014, but short career. But within that short career, he put up amazing numbers at the middle linebacker position. Amazing.
Can I go
Um,
first again?
yes, sir. Go ahead.
Patrick Willis out of Ole Miss was probably, if he would have had a longer career, he'll probably be up there with Ray Lewis and Mike Singletary in there. I think he is up there. Um, he was too strong for you to block. I used to watch him throw tackle guards and tackles off. He was fast, and when he got there to the point of contact, he knocking the shit out you. And he was scary too, as far as how the closing speed. Him and Navarro Bowman. It was scary.
Yes.
And I no disrespect to Greenlaw and what's your boy? The two linebackers
Fred
doing
Warner.
now for Fred Warner
Fred
and
Warner, yeah.
Greenlaw, but they're good for what the game is now. But true football, I'ma knock the hell out you. I'ma read the play, find the ball, and not fire from you, and make you not even want to run the ball again. It's Patrick Willis. He had the same mindset as Ray Lewis as far as play style. Smart, fast, strong, and just nasty.
Mm.
Go ahead, y'all.
Well said. Well said. Coach, what you think?
Bro, Patrick Willis was a complete package in terms of a linebacker. I mean, he was a beast. And the crazy thing about it, kind of like a player like Gail Sayers, who played such a short time, but was so impactful. For him to play in the time frame he played, and for him to still make the Hall of Fame, that go to show you his greatness. And more than anything, bro, I remember him being on that defense. Bro, that defense was savage. I mean, if you look at just some of the dogs they had on especially that, they D line, they just front seven in general, and just they overall defense, bro, their defense was nasty at that time, bro.
It was, man. Like JB said it perfect. Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis was in my opinion, the best linebacker duo of that time. It was. And I think we were still running the 3-5. So my Baltimore Ravens still had Ray in the middle and then had two outside linebackers. You know, had Big Hotenada to make sure nobody touched Ray in the middle. But
You meant 4-3?
yeah, the 4-3. Thank you.
We
4-3.
switched it to the 3-4 later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when y'all got out, I think y'all went to a 3-4.
Yeah. But still, Patrick Willis, especially Patrick Navarro Bowman, was the best linebacker duo of that time. And I think Coach Talley said the same thing. Brandon Brazell said some of the Hall of Fame and best all time is as much as longevity as anything. Yes, sir. Scary, man. Big Joe, what do you think about Patrick Willis, man?
Oh man, I happen to know Patrick. Me and him kicked it multiple times. We had the same shoe connect. I met him. I was picking up some shoes one day, and the owner was like, "Hey, you know Patrick?" I'm like, "No, nice to meet you." And then we kind of exchanged numbers, and me and him been kind of cool ever since. I ain't seen him in a minute, but yeah, I hung out with him. He's a really good dude, great guy, very humble. You know, he's not like most superstars or most NFL players who got an ego or whatnot.
He
He's
a
a, you
humble
know, he
country
let,
boy, man.
yeah, very, yeah, like to go fishing, no, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, no, he was a dog. I mean, as a rookie making the Pro Bowl and getting Defensive Player of the Year and all that. I mean, Ray Lewis said that he's gonna break all my records. He's definitely better than me. Even Ray Lewis said that. You know, so he was on path to easily being one of the best linebackers that ever lived until he got injured. But if you want to know how to play linebacker, watch everything on Patrick Willis. And again, Navarro Bowman was a dog too, right next to him, number 53. That duo during that time in the NFL, man, killing fools. That was when you actually could hit people back in the day. But Patrick Willis was pretty much a running back on steroids playing linebacker. You know what I mean? He's strong, fast, he had great instincts, and he had that hit stick, you know, for everybody who, you know, so yeah, shout out to shout out to not Navarro, I'm sorry. Shout out to Patrick Willis. You know what I mean? Great dude, humble guy. I know he's ran into some financial stuff and some investments that he made ain't pan out or something like that, or he got scammed or something.
Yeah, he got
I hope
scammed.
he, yeah, I hope he works all that out. But yeah, no, if you want to know how to play linebacker, just watch Patrick Willis. That's all you got to do.
Yes, sir. Legend. All right, we about to go old school. Randy Gradishaw. Played from 1971 to 1983. Now, I had to reach out to some old heads, especially my pops, man. He put me on a game about Randy. He told me as far as sideline and sideline to 10 to 15 tackles a game, that's Randy Gradishaw. Him and Tom Jackson was one of the best linebacker tandem during that time. Sideline to sideline, great good cover skills. You see, he had 20 interceptions in his career. That was a lot during that time. Coach 67 Sports TV. Let people know your opinion on Randy Gradishaw.
Yeah, I mean he definitely was a good player. Him and Tiny Tom Jackson, This what kind of made the Denver Broncos the Orange Crush at the time. I mean, he was a very, very, very good player.
Very good. Very good, man. Um, JB, what you think?
Well, just knowing more about him, like like you, Jared. From what I understand, he was a good, like you said, sideline to sideline linebacker, and he was a good person to have on your team, especially when it came to coverage with the 20 interceptions. Um, and he was a very, very good football player. And congrats to Mr. Gradishaw.
Congrats, man. And I was gonna go to Joe Town. I think he having technical issues, but it's all good. Um, uh, but with us saying all this, man, we going to move on to one more person. Randy McMichael. Uh, a lot of us remember him back in the day, like WCW, but if y'all didn't know, he was a damn good football player. He was on that 1985 Bear team, Super Bowl winning team with Mike Singletary and Buddy Ryan on the defense side of the ball with Mike Dicker as the head coach. Um, so he played from 1980 to 1994. He had 95 sacks, 838 solo tackles, and 13 forced fumbles. Before I go any further, um, Joe Town, what do you know about Randy Gradishire?
Not a damn thing. But but not that. Hey, shout out to him for making to the Hall of Fame. Just to be I don't know shit about him, but to be an NFL player and then get into the Hall of Fame, it's it's like a Christian getting into heaven. So
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so I don't know how many attempts he had to get in there. I guess he played in '85, so I guess this is not his first time being on the ballot. Him finally getting in. That's a monumental moment for him. So shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. And we were just before you came in, we were just talking about Randy Michael, and I was saying a lot of people, the wrestling fans here, remember him being WCW.
yeah. Steve
Um,
Mongo McMichael. Yeah,
yeah, but he was a damn good defensive lineman, defensive tackle. He could play both the defensive tackle and defensive end. He played from 1980 to 1994. A lot of people remember him on that 1985 Bears team with Mike Dicker, Mike Singletary, and Buddy Ryan as defensive coordinator. That's where the Bear defense came from. Um, uh, what is your opinion on Randy McMichael, Big Joe?
To be honest with you, I don't know too much about him either. You know what I mean? '94, I was still a kid out here in these streets. Um, I- I'm still trying to figure it out, but made it to the Hall of Fame. Shout out to him. You know what I mean? So
All right. Um, Coach, what do you think?
oh, I ain't gonna lie, bro. He was a dog. You feel me? And that 46 defense that Buddy Ryan ran, you know, I was a kid, when they won the Super Bowl that
Yep,
year.
Bear 46. Yep.
And I'm not gonna lie, I remember them doing the Super Bowl shuffle song and all that, the whole nine. The game itself, they only lost one game that year to the Dolphins, and of course, that Dan Marino led Dolphins offense with Clayton and Duper, the double slide out the spread. Basically, it was the perfect offense to run against the 46 because Marino had such a quick release and he got rid of the ball. So that was on the loss they had that year. But he was such a savage. And then, just to go to show you how his greatness, Singletary used to fuss at Steve Mongo McMichael all the time, like, hey, do your job, blah, blah, blah. And McMichael was like, I'm doing my job like you do your job, they get going back and forth. And Mike Singletary said years later, after his playing days was over, he said he was sitting back watching game film, and he was like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't realize how good this dude was." And basically, he picked up the phone and he was like, "Man, I owe you an apology. Like, I didn't realize like you were playing that well, you were that good, this, that, and the third, whoop the whoop." And and like I said, that just that whole Bears defense, Mike Singletary and McMichael and William Refrigerator Perry. Of course, we knew the fridge for them sticking him at fullback, even though he was nose guard. They stick him at fullback, and and him getting the touchdown in the Super Bowl and whoop the whoop, whatever. They put him in the short yardage goal line package. But more than anything, when it come back to Steve Michael, McMichael was a dog, bro. I'm not even gonna lie on him.
He was, man. He definitely was. And Richard Dent, thank you, J Ball. Richard Dent was on that defense as
Oh
well.
yeah, Dent, he was another one. He was bro. That defense just was loaded, bro. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it was, man. JB, what do you think? And
Yeah,
Brandon, we're
just
gonna answer your
love,
question. Go ahead, JB.
and just watching documentaries about them and stuff when they was and going over the Hall of Fame selections and the Hall of Fames that were selected. He was a very very good defensive tackle, especially for what that Bears defense wanted to do. Um, with the 46 defense, you had to your defensive lineman had to be good. Um, had to dominate. Uh, I mean, he was very, very. Um, he was a beast, man. He was a beast as far as especially for that 46 defense. I don't want to like make similarities to the 2000 Ravens or the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but people don't understand for the linebackers like Richard Dent and Mike Singletary to do what they do, guys like William Perry and Randy McMichael had to be dominant. So the linebackers can fly around and make stops. So congratulations to Randy
Hold on,
McMichael.
it's not. I made a typo. It's Steve McMichael. My bad. Randy
Steve Mike,
McMichael
yeah,
is a tight end, but it's Steve McMichael. My apologies.
Yeah.
to
Well,
Steve McMichael.
that's why I kept saying Steve Michael McMichael.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you. So Steve McMichael. Apologize for the typo, y'all. Steve McMichael.
yeah,
AKA
Randy
Michael.
McMichael. That's the Dolphins tight end.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was. I was
yeah,
thinking of
yeah.
him,
So
and I still typed it. Randy McMichael. My
Yeah,
my apologies.
yes, Steve Michael McMichael. Yeah.
But but um he here's what I want to round out the conversation to. So I know he has a what is that disease? Um, what's it called?
Some of Parkinson's.
Is it
Lou
called?
Garrett.
Lou
Yeah,
Gehrig.
Lou
Yeah.
Gehrig's.
Yeah.
So um, a lot of people feel the only reason why he's in this Hall of Fame class because he has Lou Gehrig's disease, and I mean, and again, Mike Steve McMichael was a beast, but um, there's here's people argument. There's other defensive linemen out here that's haven't been picked better than him, but a lot of people feel because he has that disease is why he was picked in the Hall of Fame. So, um, for example, and great question, Brandon Brazil. Do y'all think London Fletcher will ever make it to the Hall of Fame? So, for example, a lot of people feel like London Fletcher should have took his place. What do y'all think on that?
I mean, to be real with you, bro. Uh, first to answer 86 goals question. Honestly, I think London Fletcher was a very good player. I don't know if he really necessarily Hall of Fame worthy, to be truthful. But back to Steve Mago McMichael, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, they got players that are in the Hall of Fame that you really, it's kind of like the All Star team. Like if just say for example, I'm a Pelicans fan, and I'm like, man, I think Zion Williamson should have made the NBA All Star game. But you look at the roster, like who I'm gonna bump off of this team to put Zion on? Nobody. And truthfully speaking, other players, there was nobody you really could have justified bumping them out to put Milo in. But to be truthful, you only got so many spots. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. I thought he should have been in the Hall of Fame years ago. But like you said, you only got so many slots. And then on top of that, when you really think about it, for him to be as good as he was, I think he really should have probably, made it years ago. But at the same token, you got other players who really deserve to be in now as we speak. And they've been on the ballot year after year after year after year, and they never really got in,
Like Jimmy Smith, the wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I disagree with you with that London Fletcher. I'm looking at his stat, and I've seen him. London Fletcher should be on the ballot.
No, bro. I'm not saying he wasn't a dog, but maybe I might
not
be wrong.
this one, but he should be in the Hall of Fame one day. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna be truthful. Maybe I have to revisit. Don't get it twisted. He was a dog for years, but just from what I remember of his career, I don't remember Hall of Fame worthy player. I remember perennial Pro Bowler. Yes, Hall of Fame. I would have to go back and look at his numbers.
You gotta watch film. You gotta be careful because you got good players that were
I never
really.
said he wasn't a dog, bro. I never said
No. I understand what you're saying. It's something that we all do, not just you, Coach. We've all done. Like we gotta make sure we're not punishing him for being on bad football team.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Washington, what was back then the Washington Redskins. Now the Washington Commanders wasn't really hitting on nothing, and then you had London Fletcher running around making plays. You know what I'm saying? But they lost a lot
for being more than around. To be real with you, though,
Well, see, there you go. But this is all opinionated. This is all opinions. This is no right or wrong answer, really. But Coach just hit the nail right on the head. Who you gonna take off though? Even if me and Jared say, hey, he belongs on there, but I'm talking on the next ballot, Jared. Who you gonna bump off there? And there's people that's been waiting longer than London Fletcher. You see what I'm saying? I just mentioned him along with Derek Freeney. Freeney. Robert Mathis. Dwight Freeney. Robert Mathis. Reggie Reggie Wayne has been in the Hall of Fame yet?
No.
I think Marvin Harrison is. I don't think Reggie Wayne is.
Yeah.
See, there you go. There's another one. So this is all opinionated. There's a bunch of players that deserve to go in.
Yeah, London Fletcher was Brandon Brazell said it perfectly. Brandon Brazell was matching Ray Lewis' number as far as tackles, and he was a great cover linebacker.
Big time, yeah.
And he had a decent amount of sacks for a linebacker. No, more than decent. So if he, as a linebacker, middle linebacker, if he don't get into the Hall of Fame one day, then he's, in my opinion, he's up there with the Jimmy Smith.
And I mean, just think about it, bro. Somebody like T.O., he was upset because he didn't make the Hall of Fame on the first ballot,
Right. I mean, he's one of them linebackers like David Thomas or like on the Saints, Sam Mills.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dudes that just be flying around.
You mean Thomas Davis? Yeah.
Thomas Davis. I'm sorry.
No, you good. So many names you can remember. Sometimes you get mixed up. It's all right. Like I did with Steve McMichael. McMichael. I put Randy McMichael
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
Steve.
Steve Mongo McMichael. Yeah,
Yeah, Jay Barr. I remember him with the Four Horsemen in WCW. Yep.
yeah, yep.
Costa
Yep.
said the Super Bowl Shuffle. Yeah.
Super Bowl shuffle. Yep. I mean, hey, bro, that was a big thing at the time.
Watch this. Um, Big Joe, is London Fletcher a Hall of Fame linebacker? Big Joe, can you hear me?
He might have some technical difficulties, bro.
Yeah, yeah. But me personally, I think he is, man. I honestly think he is.
Now, I want to ask you this though, bro. So, you think when T.O. said he should have made the Hall of Fame on the first ballot, you think he had a legitimate argument, or do you
Heck
think?
yeah, man.
No, no,
His numbers was up there.
no. I'm not saying he wasn't, but the thing about it is, bro, you got so many like great players that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. They've been on the ballot like 20 times, you know. But I think like JP was saying, his opinionated. It kind of go either way. But I agree. He should have been first ballot. But at the same token, for you to say, "Hey, I don't want to go to the ceremony at all," I'm like, "Oh, come on, T.O., bro, you doing too much now, bro."
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Can
yeah.
y'all hear me now?
We can hear you now, brother.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'm going from folks calling me. I'm getting in my car. So my bad. I apologize.
No, you
My
good,
bad.
man.
To answer your original question, like regarding like the him get in there because he had like an illness, like I have a lot of issue how the NFL runs their Pro Bowl. I mean their Hall of Fame. Either you're a Hall of Famer or you're not. This whole waiting 20 years and 15 years and guys finally getting in when they barely live in and all that kind of stuff, or they pass away and then they get in there. I mean, either you're a Hall of Famer or you're not. Like even Deion Sanders said, everybody is not a Hall of Famer. There's tiers in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? So I never seen McMichael play, but is he like a Warren Sapp? Is he like a Reggie White? You know what I mean? Like, is he like an elite guy? Like Deion said, we have elites in here, then we have just regular Hall of Famers. So they need to figure out to solidify it. So if I have my pick, and I feel like Fred Taylor should take McMichael's slot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or take the other brothers, or take the other linebacker slot. I mean, so like they need to figure it out. They don't have this problem in the NBA. Either you're a Hall of Famer or not. They shouldn't have to wait 20 years for you to figure out what you are. Either you is or you ain't. You feel me? And is London Fletcher a Hall of Famer? Well, London Fletcher, I think he played with like 15, 16 years, never missed a game.
yeah.
I mean,
On a
I
bad
think
football team.
yeah, I think he only went to one Pro Bowl. He got like snubbed on his Pro Bowl, so that's gonna kill him.
Nah, he
But
went to
yeah,
four and
he
won a
went to
Super Bowl
four.
with the Rams. Yeah,
Okay, so one Super Bowl, four Pro Bowls. How many tackles does he have?
a lot. Like he's up there with Ray, bro.
Okay, well,
I,
we got Super Bowl. We got Super Bowl. He's up there with Ray Lewis, and he should be in the Hall of Fame.
And he's the victim of what your boy Fred Taylor. Good
Yeah,
player, bad football team.
yeah,
or
Yeah, yeah,
franchise. Now I mean them teams in that year. Look,
and
yeah.
look at Brandon. What Brandon put in there? 1,384 solo tackles. He had um 23 interceptions and he had 39 sacks.
Yeah. I mean, like London Fletcher was a guy again. He was on a bad team, and plus, your team got to hype you too. I don't remember the Redskins hyping up London Fletcher like they hype up Ray Lewis with the Ravens. I mean, he was every bit of a star, just like Patrick Willis, except he was on a bad team and he didn't get much publicity.
And he kind of was a quiet guy. He wasn't a rah rah. He wasn't like Ray rah rah and dancing and whatnot. He just go out there and handle his business. So yeah, again, if his numbers is up there with Ray Lewis, they know that they see where your numbers are at, and if he got a ring, and he got both, so he should be a Hall of Famer. And he rarely ever got hurt. He damn near played and never missed a game almost.
Yeah, he was Mr.
So
Iron Man. Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Jay Ball, good example. It took 20 till 2020 for Drew Person to get in the Hall of Fame. So
Yeah, that's crazy, that
yeah,
bro. But just to kind of go back to what he was saying about Steve Michael McMichael, I ain't gonna lie, Big Joe, you right. There is tears. You know, I wouldn't say he was. I wouldn't say he was the elite, but bro, Michael McMichael was a dog, bro.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
I'm
Booger
sure he
McFarland,
was.
Booger McFarland's a dog too.
Yeah. Anthony McFarland.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of players who are dogs, but are you elite? Do they have the game plan for you? You know what I mean? Like there's shit. Like there's guys out there who are dogs. Don't mean you're a Hall of Famer.
I'm gonna give
You
y'all
know,
a good example. I want y'all to look this up and tell me if I'm lying. I like Terrell Davis, but doing my research, if you look at Terrell Davis stats, and if you look at Willis McGahee's stats, it's damn Willis McGahee got numbers a little bit higher. But the only reason why he made it to the Hall of Fame is because of the multiple Super Bowls.
Super
yeah,
Bowls. But you got to realize, kind of like, it go to show you how great Gale Sayers and Patrick Willis were. For them to have a short career and be Hall of Fame worthy, the thing that really kind of knocked Terrell Davis is the fact that, bro, his career was super short. And even though he was successful, I don't think he had the type of success that Gale Sayers and Patrick Willis had in that shorter time frame. So, that kind of makes a difference. And it even kind of go to, what y'all was saying about but London Fletcher. If he'd have had as short a career as Patrick Willis, would he would have had the same type of impact in that shorter time frame? Who knows?
No, it's just that he was consistent every year, even
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
longest. So look at Brandon Brazil cooking, man, in the chat. He know his football. Hit the line. No disrespect to Rocky McIntosh, but that was the linebacker that was beside him. So Rocky is solid, but he ain't he ain't a Navarro Bowman, right? So that's why London Fletcher was getting all them tackles, because Rocky McIntosh was he was just a starter. That's it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So again, Brandon Brazil, Sterling Sharp, and he is, to your point, Coach. Sterling Sharp ain't in just because he only had 6 years, but in 6 years he was as good as anyone else. Best 6 years, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Sterling Sharp was we talking about elite, to Joe point, at that time, wide receiver, you had Jerry Rice, you had Michael Irvin, and you had Sterling Sharp. And that was it. I even say he was better than Chris Carter in that time frame and other wide receivers. Sterling Sharp was a beast, and just to kind of counterpoint to what Joe was saying, you really can't compare NFL and NBA when it comes to Hall of Fame, because the NBA does have that problem, because the reason being is not a NBA Hall of Fame, it's a basketball Hall of Fame. You got guys that are in basketball Hall of Fame based more on how great they were in college more so than they were in the NBA. You got guys that were like mid at best in the NBA, and they're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And I'm like, why the heck is this guy in the Basketball Hall of Fame? He was trash to me. Or they might have been a great EuroLeague player, and they had a little success in the NBA, and they're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. A lot of those guys in the Basketball Hall of Fame, if you had to try to put them, if they were in the NFL players, there's no way they would be in the NFL Hall of Fame. So I think Coach Prime made an excellent point. A lot of guys that they're trying to put in the Hall of Fame, now they're really not Hall of Fame caliber players. But you got way more guys that weren't great NBA players that's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. So I think it's even a bigger problem in the NBA than it is in the NFL.
I'm gonna put you on spot, and a lot of people hate this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So out of these great players, I'm gonna ask y'all a question, each one of y'all. If you had a choice to removing one player, who would it be? Coach, go.
The player that was just on the screen, Gradishar, he
Mm.
hey, he out of there.
JB.
It would have to be Steve McMichael to
Okay.
me. Um, I mean, Randy, a radish shot for the position he's in. You know what I'm saying? Having 20 interceptions as a linebacker is
A lot.
is more tougher. And then Randy McMichael, Steve McMichael with the 95 sacks. That I mean, that's very good. But you got to remember had, he
A
had
lot of
like
people around him.
William Perry and
Bro,
all
I'm
the
not gonna
people
lie.
around.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Fridge was more of an impact player. Is like a short yardage fullback in on the offensive end than he was. Don't get me wrong, he was a good defensive player, but he had the eating problem. Fridge wasn't as great a defensive player as people might think he was. I mean, he was good,
Right.
like you said, because he had, Singletary and McMichael and Dent and some of the players around him. But, Michael Singletary is considered one of the greatest middle linebackers ever. And for him to say, like, I didn't know you was as great as you were, and I underestimated your greatness, to me, that spoke volumes for Steve Mongo McMichael, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, defensive lineman. We always gonna get that 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 put on us because people don't see what we do. Us, Jared and Town, what we do in the trenches. People don't know what we put up with. So I'm not taking that from Lee Michael. What I'm saying is, I'd rather have Fred Taylor in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I dig
Fred
what you're
Taylor,
saying.
you know
I
what I'm
dig what you
saying? So, and
I,
I
I dig
think, go ahead.
I dig what you're saying, JB. I don't mean to cut you off, bro. I dig what you're saying, but like Town was saying, is this player elite? And I think when it comes to some of these players, Steve Margot McMichael is a little bit before y'all time. You got to actually see him play to kind of make, even with the Gradishar player. I kind of heard of him, but I never actually saw him play. So I think if we had to break down tape on each one of these players, it'll give us a better estimation of what they really were as players. And then even with that being said, sometimes we could analyze film and it still might not give us the full snapshot of their greatness. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
I said, fair enough. Coach got a point. Randy go now. Steve can stay up there. Randy got to go.
Oh, dog.
See, all you got to do is just prove your point and explain it to me, and for me to consider what you're saying. I ain't got no ego about this, but that makes a lot of sense. About you got to break the tape down.
Great. Brandon said to analyze their tape, you also got to know what their assignment was. Yep, exactly. Going to
So,
you,
good
Town.
point, Coach.
Good point. And good point, Brandon. Town, who you removing off this list?
And that's very tough for me to say. 'Cause I've never seen anyone of them play. So that's hard for me. So I'm just gonna go with the black guy. The white dude got to go.
Okay.
Well, Town, you got two white dudes, bro.
They both white. Okay, yeah, no, yeah, he looked light skinned in the picture. Well, that's the case. Then Brandon Shire got to go.
Okay. All right. I respect all y'all opinions, but I'm about to speak on this. If I was going to remove anyone, I'm removing Steve McMichael. And I think probably in the following years, he'll get on the ballot one day. Which in real life he is, so congratulations to him. But we just speaking hypothetical. But like JB have said, there's other. I feel like there's other players more deserving, like Jimmy Smith from the and Fred Taylor. Both they put up high numbers in that at that time that new Jacksonville Jaguar franchise. So um, for them to perform like that for a young franchise that's trying to find their identity and them to put up Hall of Fame numbers, it you know it like the question that Brandon presented regarding London Fletcher. When are they gonna be on the ballot? So I know Steve McMichael was an older player, but at the same time, I feel their numbers spoke um, bumps them ahead of Steve McMichael, in my opinion. So to answer your question, going back to T.O., I know there was people more deserving, but T.O., in my opinion, in his era, put up higher numbers to
That
make
was the
him
best.
make him the first ballot Hall of Famer.
No. Honestly, bro, I didn't say they were more deserving. I was saying that they were on the waiting list longer, and I think the NFL they didn't take that into consideration. So, and like I think Brandon Brazil or Picasso one of made this point. They use T.O. character against him, which to me is ridiculous. I'm like, bro, how you bring in character? And it wasn't like he was arrested like 20 times or anything like that. It was more of he was considered to be a locker room cancer. And then the crazy thing about it, in all those locker rooms T.O. was in, like in all actuality, half the locker room was in his favor, and the other half of the locker room might have been against him. So if anything, that kind of spoke more to him being a charismatic guy too. You know what I'm saying? And I think another thing we really not considering, I think too many times when it comes to these conversations, the fact that Steve McMichael, he was on the Super Bowl team, whereas Jimmy Smith, Fred Taylor, the first they made it was to the AFC Championship game. Whether we acknowledge it or not, I think the NFL take that into consideration also.
I think so. You're right. You're right. Definitely right about that, man. So, um,
Oh, let me put it like this. Because Jared, you made a point about T.O. T.O. was the best, and he should have been at that one time in his era. Okay, so he should have been first ballot. He was putting up Randy Moss numbers. Okay, let's let's just put it
Some people
like
say
that.
he was better than Randy
Steve
Moss.
McMichael, that might be true. So let's just put it like this to Jared Point saying that Steve McMichael needs to be off the list, or it's an opinion because we're going from the perspective of people who probably deserve it, not deserve it more, but um, I would say that's the right, deserve it more. Not saying he deserves it, but I mean, he was on the 95 Bears.
85.
So 85 Bears, excuse me, thank you. So was Steve McMichael the best defensive tackle that could have made it? Let's put it like that.
I mean, he was amongst the best in that era.
okay, all right.
Because,
Well,
all right,
I didn't say he was the best, but he was amongst the best in that era.
okay. Brandon, you good, man. This is good talking points. If you're on a winning team and if you don't stick it out, you might just be a beneficiary. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. A lot of people might say, well, hey, uh, he might have benefited from playing with Richard Dent and Michael Singletary, but truthfully speaking, Singletary said that he benefited from, Steve McMichael doing the dirty work in front of him. And, he acknowledged the fact that was part of his greatness. He said but it took him years down the line to realize it, which is crazy to me that you got a guy that this good in front of you and you think he's not doing his job, and it take for you to be retired and watching game film years later to pick up the phone and be like, man, but I didn't realize like you were as great as you were. I mean, wow, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But It is what it is, man. But congratulations to all these gentlemen, man. Um, Congratulations to all of them, man. They're more deserving them playing in the NFL, a grueling sport that takes a toll out your on your body, and then for to them to perform at a high level. It's I mean they deserve it. You know what I mean? So I can have my opinions, but there's a reason why they was in consideration. So congratulations to all these dudes, man. All these gentlemen, these warriors of the gridiron. Um, but y'all, we gonna have to wrap it up, man. We've been on here for 3 hours cooking, man. Um, Great conversation. I appreciate it. Uh, Coach 67 Sports TV. Let everybody know where they can meet you.
You can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms. However, I'm primarily here on YouTube. Yesterday we had episode 34 of Bayou Sports Talk. If you have not caught it, go check it out. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal evening. Have a blessed and phenomenal weekend. Catch y'all on the rebound next weekend this same time. Peace and blessings to y'all. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, Southern University. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. JB and Big Joe, I appreciate you brothers for taking time out your day and evening to hop on with me. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all some real ones. But Big Joe, let
No
everybody know where they
problem,
can.
man.
Yeah, man. You can find me on all LDBC platforms, showing love, supporting, super chatting the family and everything. You know, look to the mighty LDBC again. We got the NFL Combine coming up. Then the NFL Combine is this week actually.
Yeah,
Then we got the NFL Draft coming up, so we're gonna have a lot more football to talk about. We got the UFL coming up and everything, and then we got mini camps and trade deadline. So y'all stay tuned, man. There's gonna be a whole lot more football talk going on. So and again, I just hate the Hall of Fame thing because, like the brother saying, well, this guy got in, he need to get in because he's been waiting for a long time. Now we got London Fletcher, he's gonna wait for a long time. Then somebody else went for a long time, and you know what I mean. Like if everybody get in, like Patrick Willis, to get in the one time and you good to go. You know what I
yeah.
mean. But salute to the family, LDBC business, yada.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. JB, thank you, man. I appreciate you for behind the scenes, always encouraging me and just being there for me. Appreciate you.
No problem, man.
But that's enough. This was another installment of the Southern Baller Show. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and LDFC. Y'all have a blessed one.